All you hoes, you and your mammy and your granny too. I'm sick of this shit. All you hoes don't give a damn what you wanna do.
They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with.
Must reign.
Welcome to another stream here on the Chaos Reign Show. I am Chaos Reign here, and today we're going to continue on and go through this video portion of Andrew Wilson versus EnemyCharlie. And to people know, EnemyCharlie does have a social media presence. You can look her up on YouTube, and you also can find her on Instagram. What you're about to watch is some misinformation that Andrew put out between blacks and whites, and some other information that Charlie kind of questioned him and that he is fully aware of. But like I said, you will be the judge. So no further ado, let's run the videotape. If you have any comments, questions, put in the chat room and the super chat as well. Support channel. Let's go.
It just becomes like, where are we getting this grounded ethic that it's okay to tell people what they can do with their stuff? It's theirs.
I mean, no one is saying it's just a equal opportunity and trying to not make judgments on someone on the basis of.
But I
their
think it's
immutable
fine for people to make
characteristics.
judgments.
Of course, you know, like if I am walking down the street at night and I see a large group of rowdy 20-something men, I'm going to be like a little bit like anxious. You know, I'm going to be like, well, they're rowdy young men. That could be potentially dangerous.
Is it bad if I do that with black people?
Oh, I think that highly depends upon the context.
In the same context. I just see a group of
Rowdy young men?
Yeah, or just, rowdy black people. And I cross the street. Is that racist?
I think it's just because they're black on the basis that you think they're going to jump you.
Yeah.
Do you think that happens often?
Do you think that if it was just a bunch of men and you cross the street and you call that sexist or not sexist, then how would that be racist the other way?
Well, because I think we have to consider which one is coming, on the basis of like personal experience versus like, I mean, how often have you been like harassed at night by rowdy black people? Like a crowd
if you
of
go
rowdy
around
black
if you go around rowdy black people, yeah, they're probably going to harass you if you're white.
I used to walk through the Tenderloin at night by myself. This was when I was very butch. So mind you, I
walk
at
through.
a glance.
You're gonna walk through South Central by yourself.
I don't know where South Central is.
The point is, though,
I'm
is
talking
that
about
like
San Francisco. The Tenderloin is a
if
heavily black area.
you're informing your judgment that the rowdy group of young men may do bad thing to you. That's
Historically, they do bother.
and this would be the same information that a young white man or a young white woman would have if they're talking about. Hang on.
again,
Let me make the point, and then you can respond.
Right.
Is it not the case that young white men also have the exact same justification that you would have? That historically now, at least in their lifetimes, it does seem like whites are disproportionately attacked by black men. That white men are disproportionately attacked.
The stats on
and
that.
we can pull them up.
But again,
let's just look at interracial dynamics of violence, black on white versus white on black.
I think depending on where you are, sure. If you're in an area
no, it's not where you are. It's
racial
everywhere.
tensions are high.
It's everywhere.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
It's everywhere.
I used to walk through the Tenderloin in San Francisco at night by myself. That is a heavily black area, and I was. The worst thing that ever happened was a guy tried to sell me weed. That was the worst thing that happened, and it was okay. And I looked again, like.
But if you're informing, if a young woman is walking down the street and she's never been assaulted by young men before ever, and she's walking by a group of young rowdy-looking men, right, and she just knows from hearing stories and from her observations and statistics and things like this, that she could be in some trouble there, and she crosses the street, would you say that that's sexist?
I would say technically yes, that is sexism, but I think that
So she does need to keep, in order to not be a sexist, she needs to keep walking through that crowd. You would advise her to do that?
Oh, another thing, guys. This is where it gets to the good part, and I found this part on this particular stream where it's at. So I'm going to probably debunk it once the conversation goes about blacks and then whites, especially when we come out. Assault. Let's go. Sexual assault.
I think that you can make some assumptions.
Oh.
Yeah. Would it technically be sexist?
So would you
Sure,
recommend
but
in
it's
that?
on the basis of like this.
So would you recommend she was sexist in that instance then? If you were going to give her advice, would you be like,
be sexist?
Yeah,
no, I
in
would
that
say
instance?
don't get hurt.
but if she crosses the street based on her preconceived notions, even though these things haven't actually happened to her, and you were the advice giver, would you go ahead and advise her to cross the street?
Yeah, if it was my little sister, absolutely.
Of course. And so you would advise her to be sexist. So then why wouldn't that apply to race?
I don't know how to say this other than I think you only get harangued by black people as a white person if you're being real weird. Like, I think you have to be like...
What?
Like what reason would a group of rowdy black people have to bother a young white guy?
They kick the fuck out of them and take their money. What are you talking about?
Okay, like jumped? You're worried about getting jumped?
Yeah, of course. The same thing you would be worried about.
Yes, sure, then avoid them. But you should probably avoid groups of white guys too, because you could get jumped also.
But if it's racist, then no. Well, wait a second now. If
Depends
all
on
of
where you
if
are.
all of the
Again.
things that you're
Again.
if all the things you're
Again.
informed on, all right, are telling you exactly the opposite, and you would advise your little sister to be sexist, why shouldn't I advise my little brother to be racist in that situation?
I think it depends upon where you are. Again, if you are seeing a group of young men, regardless of race, who just seem like they're dudes out having a fun time, or if it looks like it could be gang activity related or something like that, I think like you just have to make judgment calls there. And that can be regardless of race.
Is it racist to do? Is it racist to cross the street because you see a group of young black men?
If you saw a group of young black men in suits with briefcases,
Yeah.
would you be afraid of them?
Well, wouldn't you be afraid of? Do you think that
No,
it's?
I wouldn't be afraid of a group of men in suits walking with briefcases.
So you're just saying
I said
that-
rowdy young men.
Well, that's funny because then
God damn. God damn it. God damn. So it seems to me Mr. Wilson does not want to be around any small or large size crowd where black people, i.e. black men, are around. Very strange. Don't y'all agree? Very strange. Even the guy that's in suits, he's going to look at, say, you're dangerous. What that tells you is psyche and psychology of certain white men. Let's go.
I guess if you were going to give advice to SAers, you would just advise them to have a suit and briefcase, right?
No, that's not what I would advise them. But what I'm
Well,
saying
I mean,
is
but
that-
hang on, it is, right? Wouldn't that be an entailment that you would advise them to just have a suit and a briefcase? Because if that's the case, Charlie's going to be fair game for you because she's not going to avoid you.
I would assume that there would be less danger if it's a group of sober businessmen. Yes, I would assume that they are less likely to assault me than a group of young men who are drunk and rowdy.
Don't you think that the people who have the most resources to like kind of beat the rap might actually be the most likely to do that?
Of course, but again, if we're talking about street harassment, it's probably not going to be from business. They're like molesting their secretaries or whatever. You know, it's not.
Yes, I don't know. It seems like we're saying the same thing. You would advise if it was a young group of men, your sister to cross the street, and if somebody advised that it's black men and advised their little brother to cross the street based on all of the experience data that they have, I don't really understand. I still don't really understand the distinction.
Because one is based on the fact that women get sexually harassed fairly frequently. I don't know.
And the
many
other one
white
is based
guys-
on the fact
I
that there's
don't know
interracial
many-
violence fairly frequently.
Okay. 13% of the American population is black. And regardless of how far we've advanced, most populations are not mixed. Most areas are still fairly segregated. What are the chances of white guys experiencing being assaulted by black men to the same degree as women being assaulted by men?
Why would it need to be the same degree?
Because I think if it's a low chance, something that's probably not going to happen, that's different from something.
Well,
that
how low
happens
of a
all the
chance?
time.
How low of a chance before I'm not racist when I cross the street? Does it need to be? Like, how low of a chance does it need to be before I'm not racist for crossing the street?
Like 1%. But even then, I don't think like that'd be 1 in 100 times you
Your
see
chances
black
of
guys out in
getting essayed by a group of men is way less than 1%.
or sexually harassed or just
Way
yelled at.
less than 1%. Way less.
I'm going to respectfully disagree. I had an experience. It wasn't me. It was
Disagree with what? You want to see the stats? Like just in essays. We just go off of just.
well, I'm also just talking about sexual harassment.
What does that mean? They catcall you?
Bother you? Yeah.
They just catcall you?
Yeah, it's annoying. No
Yeah,
one
so I
likes
mean,
it. And it can be scary.
So
and
what would you
weird
like
because of
less
the
if you were a young
implication.
man to get your ass kicked by a group of young black guys, or get catcalled by a group of white dudes?
I mean, the likelihood of a group of black guys beating you up, again, at most they might say mean things to you. That's probably maybe
At the
I don't
most,
know.
they might say mean things to you, that other group of men that you're avoiding. But you would still recommend the kids or your kid sister to cross the street to engage in the sexism. And yet, for some reason, when somebody uses the same argument from the racial lens, you're like, no. And it's like, that's a very inconsistent
because
position.
it's not based on reality.
It is based on reality. What reality is it not based
there's
on?
I do not hear of like interracial beat ups. Like, do you have any statistics
Yeah.
on the likelihood of white people being beaten up by black people?
In comparison to the other way around, strap yourself in.
I was. Now here's the part they're gonna try to go into, and here's where they're gonna mess up at. Listen carefully, pay attention, listen closely.
I was trying to find something earlier, but it wasn't coming up. But so basically, you guys just want me to look for white on black crime versus black on white crime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least
Assaults.
like,
Give me a few moments to
Okay.
find it.
And look at
Yeah.
the essay stats, interracial essay stats, and then you tell me.
why interracial essay
Well,
stats?
because then I would think that in order to be consistent, you would bite the bullet that you would tell your little sister if it was a group of young black men to cross the street over if it was a group of young white men, just based purely on the statistics of which one's more likely to assault you, right?
Well, women are most likely to be victimized by men of their own race.
Which is why we're looking at what data point here.
Now y'all heard that, right? It's by what data point? You know, I'm going to sidebar and say this. When I think about the relationship between white men and black women, it makes more sense why black women have a certain mindset they do, the delusion, because they get it through their original zaddy, the training from they call the white man. Can the man say he's quantifying on what stats? So even Andrew does not believe, because he's a white man himself, that white man has the capability of sexual assault. He thinks mostly all white men are saints, they're perfect, they're godlike, etc. We're going to look at the numbers as they continue to talk. Be patient and make sure you hit the like button and share the stream. And please, guys, support the channel if you can.
Interracial.
Okay, well, why are we looking at interracial?
Because if
sexual
one
assaults?
is much more likely
I'm
to
talking
assault
about
you
men
than
of
the
any
other.
race, a woman of any race, and a group of men of any race, versus you talking about a white person.
Yeah.
Versus
Do you know
a group
what?
of black
Can you tell
people.
me what per capita means, Charlie?
No.
No. Okay. I didn't think so. But anyway, let's move back to this. So it's pretty simple. Okay.
Do you want to tell me?
Yeah, per capita is just when you isolate for a segment in order to adjust for the percentage against the whole. So it'd be something akin to this, right?
Okay.
Let's say you had two let's say you had 2 black men and you had, I don't know, 8 white dudes. Okay, for a total of 10, right? 10 represents 100% of all of these people in this people group, okay? And you have 4. You have 4 of the white guys who commit crimes, right? Like SA. And then you have both of the black men who commit SA. If you're trying to determine which out of the people group committed more SA, would you then adjust for the 2 black men, because that's now 100% of black men who are committing SA, or for the 4 white guys, because now that's only 50% of white men who commit SA?
So it would be like relative to population size. That's what you're
per
saying.
capita.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's super important to understand this,
No,
right?
When it
Because
comes to
even if
sex,
it's the
yeah.
case that most SA crimes happen within your own race, that could very well be true. What you'd really be looking at, though, is the per capita percentage.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, let's get that then.
Yeah.
Still working on it. I'm not finding any.
But if it were the case, I just want to know, if it were the case that
Now, you see, the guy said he's still looking at it, still looking at it. I will help you. I'll end the curve, because I look through all artificial intelligence to verify if what Andrew's trying to claim, that black man has the highest and he commits more sexual assault than white men. Oh, really? And my TV, you know it's better, because he dealt with these people for a long time. Let's put this to the acid test, shall we? Let me see if I can pull up my thing. I'm gonna scroll up, because I did this earlier. And let me see if I can pull it up. I should pull it up earlier, but matter of fact, let me talk as I try to pull it up, because I had it on my desktop by then. So Mr. Wilson is. Oh, yes, he is. Brother Bro Speaks. Welcome, guy. How you doing? Long time no see. Yes, they're following the Charlie Kirkland playbook. I'm glad you noticed. Let him play talk as I find numbers.
racially they attacked white women far more than white men attacked black women, then wouldn't you give the advice to your little sister to cross the street?
Yeah, if that was a thing that was happening, where sure, like black men are just out there hunting white women like animals,
Well,
I guess I would.
You know, you see, hang on. Did you see how you just characterized that with a terrible straw man? Did I say anything about black men hunting down white people like animals?
Essaying.
Did I say anything
You
about
said
them hunting?
Essaying white women.
Did I say anything about them doing that?
Actually, you kind of is, Andrew, because you're saying by the percentage that black men, by default, from what you said, and anybody could probably correct me in the chat room if I'm hearing things, you're kind of saying that black men have the potential, or propensity to sexually assault non-black women. And I'm not sure you're saying by mass, but you're going to go by the percentage that is a lie. And I'm going to show that is a lie. Let's continue.
No, but the implication.
No, so you just made there's no implication of that either. Just an implication.
The implication is
of
that
the
black men are sexual predators.
No, the
and
implication is only
uniquely violent.
What? Okay, how is that implied? If it's the case that more black people do commit more R crimes than white people do, how is that anything other than a fact?
Well, it's not a fact.
It is a fact.
It's not.
Are you
And
sure?
we also have to test for. We have to consider convicted for.
Oh,
Like
it's
you
even.
said, like I said earlier.
It's even worse.
Like I said earlier.
It's so much worse, Charlie, than you think. It's so
people
much.
going innocent. Or,
Charlie, it's worse than you could ever imagine.
What do you mean?
You're about to find out when Brian pulls up the stats. It's worse than you could ever imagine.
Okay, well, will you concede that not all convicted sex criminals are guilty of what they have done?
Of course.
Okay.
But
Is
will
it
you
not true
concede
that we have a justice system?
Well, hang on, but will you concede that most of the people who are convicted of the crimes that they committed those crimes? Because
I'm not sure, actually.
Well, then what's the point of things like judicial review? And what's the point
I
of
think
things
that it would
like? What's the
depend-
point of things like that? What is the point of doing all of these audits? What is the point of all the studies and things like this? If crime itself was not mostly being placed in its proper categories and people being convicted for the correct
Do you think
crimes?
people experience more outrage when a member of the out group assaults a member of the in group versus when a member of the in group assaults a fellow member of the in group?
The out group.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that people in general are going to be far more upset about a black man essaying a white woman than they would be about a black man essaying a black woman.
Okay.
Right?
Let's just
So
grant
again,
it.
if
Sure.
we're looking at convictions, there's also a history of false accusations, against black men by white women. That is a fact. That has happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I would also consider that as well.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the entire historic standard, sure, but like just the last 10 years, no, there's not much of that.
All right.
Not much in the way of false accusations going on there. Things like DNA, we have DNA testing. That's the big one, the DNA.
But a lot of rape kits don't happen. A lot of cases don't have rape kits involved.
So don't
with
trust
them.
women? Or should we believe all women?
I think that you can believe victims, but I think that you can also account for, like a pattern of racism.
So don't believe
in the
it?
justice system.
So don't believe all women?
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, I don't understand.
I think that you should.
Should
trust
I believe
victims.
all women or not?
You know what? I'm gonna be real with you here. No.
Yeah, fuck no.
I think that you should actively, when someone
Right.
makes accusations,
Yeah.
you should be careful, but you should also investigate, because I have seen false accusations fly.
Yeah.
I don't mean that you should be like, you dumb B word, you deserved it, you nasty, but you should wait until you have more confirmation.
Okay.
I did find it. Finally, I apologize for the delay. I think Google might have been suppressing it. I had to go to X to find.
Do you guys hear that? He said that Google is suppressing. No, Google is not suppressing. And you know what else not suppressing? Artificial intelligence, aka Chat GPT, aka Grok, aka Perplexity, aka Copilot. I'm gonna reveal all the information. Be patient. I'm letting Mr. What's his name? Brian shows what he has found, and we're gonna do a quick debunking. Let's go.
And the actual infographic. Pull it up, please. All right. So Mary, you're gonna have to make us smaller. Okay. So make us right small. And then hide right this one. Okay. Interracial violent incidents per capita of offending race. And this is from a Bureau of Justice Statistics National Crime Victimization Survey from 2018. So white on black there, 30, Hispanic on black 76. Well, I'll just do, okay, so white on black 30, black on white 1,288 versus 30 for white on black.
Well, gee, Chuck, it seems like, based on what you just said earlier, if I could demonstrate this to you, you said that you would advise your little sister to cross the street. Do you hold to that?
By the way, this is incidents per 100,000 offender population.
Do you hold to it, Chuck? Do you hold to it? Are you going to advise your sister to cross the street now?
Nah, because I think it's white boys that are getting beat up.
Can you pull up the interracial SA statistics, please?
Sure,
Well, again, we'd
give me a
have
moment
to-
to find it.
Look, it's just going to get worse as we go here,
All
Charlie.
right, well,
I'm
what
telling you,
saying is
it's
that
just going to
half
get worse.
The population is male, half the population is female. The encounters between, and then 13.3% of the population is black.
Yeah, and even less of that is male. It's only about 6% that's male.
Yeah, and so, but again, the justice system.
Remember that word we're looking for, per capita.
Yeah. The justice system also does punish black people more. Black people are convicted more for the same crimes than white people.
Did it ever occur to you?
All right. So you saw their little bullshit little picture they got from, unfortunately, was it Twitter or what do you call X now? And gentlemen and ladies, you already know already. You always gotta be careful when any person trying not show any actual data from either FBI or anything. Artificial intelligence will give you some links to where it finds where the information. If they're not using those bullet points or using those links or going through the actual data that they keep records every year, every month for what goes on, especially here in America, and all they have to show you is a stupid, and I mean really a stupid photo picture by going by some bullshit percentage that's not really factual from Twitter, they are lying to you. It is bullshit. Real bullshit. Now, I'm going to show you because I'm looking at more. Let's look at this one. Because I'm looking at things right now. Okay. Whites. Okay. And the guy said for the last 10 years, he said black men were sexually assaulting and taking non-black women's vagina, right? That information doesn't look accurate, Andrew. That don't seem like that's actually factual. And I'm looking here on this one right here, and it shows a upward trajectory for the last couple of years. That's not factual. Let me see what this is. Yeah. Nowhere close. Woo! Oh my God. Let me go down. Yeah, and here's another one. This is from what the hell is this guy talking about? Now, this is an old one, but the recent data, besides the last few months because we had a shutdown, is showing otherwise. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna pull up these and let me look, make sure. Let's look at, make sure I understand numbers. Okay. Yeah. And they could say things not been reported. We could go by that, but really and truly, from looking at both of these information, this says otherwise. So what I'm gonna do, where is it? Make sure I'm looking at how. Oh, this is last year. So this is pretty much accurate. This is a quick fact. Sexual abuse offense, and this is from the quick fact sexual abuse offense. This is one of many. So we're gonna show this one because this one is a clean little PDF, only 2 pages. And let me share the screen. Y'all guys not gonna be able to see it because of the display. All right, so let's look at this one. And then we're gonna, and I could probably show up what the chat box says, but I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can see this. Because this is the talking point, right? And let me see how good it is on my end. Y'all guys can see it? Hope you guys see it. Let me make it big one more time. There we go. Oh shit. All right. This is a quick fact. And there's more. I'm just gonna do a quick fact and go down the list. It says quick facts. Fiscal year of 2024. This is last year. Now we can't really, if there's numbers on this year, if there's any, let me know on Discord. Send it to my Discord. It's in the description of this video. I'll put Discord in a second after I go through this. Quick facts. Sexual abuse offense. Individual and offensive characteristics. 93.5% of individuals sentenced for sexual abuse were men. Out of that percentage, as you can tell, 55.1% were whites, 15.2% were Hispanic, 13.9% was black, 13.0% were Native Americans, and other. 67% of individuals in case involved products of child, imagery were white. 55.6% of individuals in case involved for prohibiting sexual contact were what? White. Hope you guys can see this. I think you guys can see it. White. Going down. 60%, I'm sorry, 60% or 61% of individuals in cases involving criminal sexual abuse, you know, that R word, were Native American. Then next we go down 85.5% individuals in case involve statutory Native Americans. And then Native Americans go down the list. The average age of these crimes, 38 years of age. 94% or 95% now were United States citizens. 71.6%, which is roughly 72 around it, had little or no prior criminal history. Okay. And then there's the CHCs, which I don't know what that is. And then 10.8% individuals sentenced for abuse were convicted at trial compared to 2.7. The top 5 districts of individuals sentenced of abuse are District of South Dakota, North District of Oklahoma, Eastern District of Oklahoma, Southern District of Florida, Southern District of Texas. Woo! Oh my goodness. Punishment. The average sentence for individuals sentenced of sexual abuse was 2.1 months, which I believe is 22.1. How long is that? 20. Damn, I think that's like 40 years. I think it could be. Is it 40 years? Let me see. 20. How long is that? I gotta check that. Hold on, guys. Let me do my calculator. Let me look that up. Could that look like a long sentence? Let's see. All right, it says 21 months. Hold on, let me look this up, guys. I gotta look up 21 months, 221 months, because that sounds like a lot, like literally. Okay. Oh my goodness. That's 18 years and 5 months. My God, you ain't coming out of jail. That's a life sentence right there. Woo-wee. That's the longest sentence. That's crazy. 992% of individuals sentenced for sexual abuse were sentenced to prison. Then there's, the video graphics. The average sentence for individuals convicted of, videos is 273 months. So that is an additional almost 25 years. 80% of those individuals were convicted of offensive carrying mandatory minimum penalties of average of over 305 months, which is 30 years, maybe more than 30 years, I think. Yeah. And the average sentence without a mandatory minimum was 147 months, which is 15 years, I think. All right. Let me shrink this so I can see more of this. All right. Let me look at this. Number of sexual abuse. It actually took a high risen and it started to slowly level out for the last 2.5 years. As high as in 2022 at 1,491 offense, And this is the data. You see the difference? I ain't gonna say it. I can see it in the screen. The highest is the child thing, which European men, white men are very known for. So when these guys talk this nonsense, you always gotta look at them a side eye. Like literally. A side eye. Okay, someone wrote, it's a little over 4 years, but they didn't need a calculator for that, but you don't need a calculator for that. Okay. You said there are 52 months in a year, 220 months. Is it 52 months? Oh. I thought it's 12 months in a year. I don't know where 52 come from. But double check that, Zachary, because I kind of use another platform to calculate that, and it said it's roughly 18 years and 5 months. But we're not gonna go back and forth with that because that's so important. I'm gonna video play more. I'm gonna show more because there's more talk about this. Let's go.
Because they commit more crimes?
Well, if you look at comparisons to actual crimes committed versus conviction rates, it's committing crimes at about the same rate, but black people are more likely to be sentenced.
Because they're on their third time doing a crime. That's why. And that's never adjusted for in the data.
Do you have proof?
Yes, we
that?
can pull it up. Yeah, you name whatever study you want right now, and I'll pull up the methodology, and I can guarantee you that if we look on the offenses by offense list, is it, oh, this white dude, he went in and he stole a car, and he got 1 year, okay? And this black guy got 10 years. That's not fair. And you know what's often left out? That's his 15th crime. And that's why he got the higher sentence.
That's actually not true. That's false. If a white boy stole a car and he got what, less than a year, well, a black man stole something, he got 10 years. It's not repeated offense. For those that know, I'm not sure where Andrew's getting the information from. Usually, it could be a small thing, and depending on the severity of the so-called crime, which black people are targeted more by law enforcement. We all know this, right? I don't know why this is. And they talk about they commit more crime. No, they're targeted more because they're trying to take and get them out the streets and out of competition amongst other men. When you target somebody, your intention doing it because you deem them as a threat for competition, not only within your own group, but also the mating competition. This is nothing new. A lot of information backs this. Matter, we look at even during integration of 1965 now, which is now was 1964, which was now enacted in 65, which is now roughly 6 years ago. 2 years after integration, they start putting more police around black areas more back in 1967. And the reason is because now that you're integrated now, that means now you're going to be able to compete with other groups of men, white men generally. And not only that, at that same year in 67, they were going to struck down what do you call it? Loving versus Virginia, which now all groups of men can have access and marry non-black women without being punished by law. So they had to start putting police around areas where black men especially reside, because it's a way of mate guarding. And we all know this already, for those that don't know. But now you know. Now you know. So that's why they target more, because it's take out the competition. That's simple as that. It's not because black men do more crime. No, because criminality is a systematic thing. And that is derived by poverty. Most of the crimes. There's a book on poverty, and it talks about the correlation between poverty and crime. Let's go.
That's what I've noticed when I look at that data. But the thing, I'm willing to look at whatever data you got. I'm happy to parse it out.
Well, I didn't prepare for this.
I know, I understand, because
I did not prepare. I prepared for debate on feminism.
That is, but this is part of that debate, because it's showing a worldview inconsistency that you have, which is that men are mean, bad, evil patriarchy. You would advise your sister to cross the street, right, in order to avoid them.
Men are evil, mean, bad.
Okay, you're right. That was a straw man, so let me be more charitable.
Okay.
You would tell your sister to cross the street when it came to a group of rowdy young men, right? And you say that you would advise her to do that even if she personally didn't have any bad experiences with rowdy young men, just based on experiences you've had and data and various things you've observed. And yet, if somebody does that and says to their little sister, hey, stay away from young black men, right, based on the same exact criteria, that's somehow fucking racist. That's what's crazy to me, is like, just, can we get some consistency?
We didn't pull up the essay rates. And again, I would think that violent offenses.
When you see this, Charlie, when you see this.
But again, we also discussed that the justice system is more likely to convict black men essaying white women than they are to convict
you know
black
what? I'm
men
even willing to
essaying
give it
black women.
I'm even willing to give it some absurdly high number, like they're wrong about 5%,
Okay.
and it wouldn't even come close to compensating for the distinction. Not even close.
All right. I mean, do you personally experience a fear of black people?
It's not a fear of black people. It's an understanding. And by the way, do you know who taught me this? Black men. They were the ones who taught me this. Because you know who's the least likely to walk around a group of young black men they don't know? Black men. That's the wildest shit, but it's true.
I think depending on the area, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's
think
true.
it highly depends on the area.
Yeah.
Again, like if you are walking through an area that has like a lot of
Did you
gang
by chance
violence-
find them stats?
Still
Not yet.
looking for it.
Someone will send it to you on X. But yeah, it's bad, Charlie. It's bad. So like the interracial distinction is not even in the same universe, and neither is the violent crime assault rates. And if we go down by women, it's even worse. It's just every time you go to the next criteria, it just will get worse for your argument. I promise. I would just
What about
bite the
controlling
bullet.
for gang violence?
Yeah, even if we control for gang violence. Even if we control for gang violence, even if we have the same socioeconomic systems, even if we have the same amount of money being made, right? It always seems to be the case that this is the case.
That they're convicted more.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I would want to do my own research into this because, again, conviction rates don't indicate that someone is doing more of the crime necessarily or is more guilty of it.
I think they do indicate that.
No, they don't. No, and you know this, Andrew. Stop the cap. No, they do not. Because most of the conviction rates after, let's say, a black person spend more than 10 or 20 years in prison, once they're able to be exonerated because the information or the so-called evidence, because most black people, if we want to be honest, don't have the money resource to fight a case. And usually when you go in front of a judge, they give you a little stupid lawyer. And some of the lawyers will tell you, not guide you, but will tell you it's better off you take plea and take less here, because the whole premise is to take the plea bargain so that way you do the little stupid time so that way you can move on in life. But the problem is when you take the plea bar, and I'm going to say this once. If you're a black man or black woman, but let's see a black man especially, stop taking plea deals. It is in your best interest to really stop doing that. Because when you take plea deals, you put yourself in a trick bag where you now will do some time in jail and be ostracized of society to really be able to work in society. And most black people say are not working for themselves. So if you get yourself caught up and you take bleed, that is your ass. Real talk. So you have to be very careful. Very careful. And this is the reason why when you hear dumb dudes like Andrew, well, he's not dumb. He knows what he's definitely doing. He's actually doing what most non-black men are doing. They are painting a picture, putting themselves as all godly, all savior, all perfect, and cannot do no wrong by put everybody else, especially black men, as the enemy, bad, evil, the devil, all encompass of the epitome of evil. It's a very unique psychological game, a real psychological game that they play on the minds of people, especially black folks. And black folks be stupid to believe this. And even when he said a black person told him this, I question not only the integrity of the black man, but that told you this, but what type of background he is. Because if he's a man that is a first generation American, he will tell you that, which most white people, let's keep real, they don't have most African American friends. They will have friends that are from the continent Africa or from the Caribbean or even London, UK blacks, which are, same Caribbean or African blacks. But the point is this. He keeps this narrative going because it paints a bigger picture of they are good, they're perfect, good, and that what they do cannot affect or do harm to others because they got to paint the picture as whites as the perfect beings, and they're the ones that are far from approach, while painting others as bad, evil, and dangerous. It's very diabolical if you think about it. Very diabolical. All right, I'm gonna let them keep talking. As I shared, a matter of fact, I'm gonna share this because since they're talking about the data and it's showing that little stupid graph and they don't show nothing else. Have y'all noticed when they showed the graph that was it, but they didn't show no actual data or numbers? And at least we could go by the hard numbers and question numbers, but you're not even giving the people that. So what we do here on the Chaos Range Show, and I'm only doing this because it has to be debunked. I'm gonna show you numbers. And where is it? Hold on, cancel. Let me find it. I had it up here earlier. Where is it? Yeah, it's right here. Oh yeah, it's right here. Let me do this. I gotta do this because it's needed. And I'm gonna zoom in. This right here, I came across with more information. And this is the 2019 crime. Criminal Justice Information Service Division. Feedback, contact, blah, 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 blah. And this is 6 years ago. And last time I checked now, it has increased in regards to the people that do most of the serious crimes in regards to sexual assault. You're going to find numbers. I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see this. And let me see how to do this. We're going to zoom in. And I hope you guys can see it at my end. This is only 6 years old. I'll still use it because there's more information that's talking about things that are up to date, except the government shutdown of America. But we're going to look at numbers from here to now and see what has changed in the last 6 years. This is 2019. Look at the numbers. And like EnemyCharlie said about the so-called, this is high here, right? And that is a count of 51.2%. And we could say that is reason because Black people more police. And there are other reasons why this is. But right now, the numbers says what is for now. But look when we find going down much further. He talks about SA. Black men are high. Still do this higher. Why the numbers said otherwise, Mr. Andrew Wilson? The R word. Whites, white men, 11,588. Black people, or what they could say, mostly black men, because this is dealing with men, right? We see here 4,427. And it goes lower from other groups of men. And what you see here, now the number right now for whites is now over 77. Now, present. But back in 2019, it was 69.8. That's 70%. So EnemyCharlie is not lying. Black men or blacks, but we say black men, 26%. This is low. This is low. And the funny thing about them, they like to quantify by percentage. And this is how they get people, the goddamn percentage. I don't go by that bullshit. We're going to look at the numbers and see where it makes sense. And right now, what I'm looking at, this is the numbers. Interesting. Let's go down. Aggravated assault. White men at 169,467. Black men, 91,164. That is a 61.8% for whites. Blacks, 33.2%. And let's go down. Then there's burglary. whites, blacks. You see the numbers? 81,000 for white men, 31,000 for black men. And we're not gonna look at the percentage. Larceny and theft. Oh, wait. Did he talk about the motor vehicle one? Motor vehicle theft. White men, 38,719. Black men, 16,000. White men in total, 67.6%. Black men, 28.6. Interesting. Very interesting. Let's go down. Arson, whites, men. Violent crimes, white men, 209,000. Black men, 129,000. That's white men on the other side. That's 59.1%. Black men, 36.4%. This is in 2019. Nothing has really increased or decreased in the last 6 years. And he said for the last 10 years, when having this bit with Charlie, he said that black men were sexually assaulting non-black women at a higher rate. But your numbers show otherwise. That's not accurate. Because if he's the only one doing it, it should be increasing, not decreasing. And when I'm looking at, you have a higher perpetually of taking the pussy. Property crime, other assaults, there's no comparison. Fraud, embezzlement, stolen property, vandalism, weapons carry possession. Well, we all know that. Yeah. Prostitution and criminalized and commercialized vice, high, 10,000 whites men, 50%, black men, 40% or 42%. Sexual offense, except for this, 21,360. This is white men. Black men, 5,900. 74. There you go. Look at this. I'm going just down the list. Just down the list. And then here, arrest under 18 years. Under 18. These are ones that's not adults. This is the numbers. Under 18. Look at this. Same thing. Blacks, this, we can question it, but that's numbers. But when we come to under the age, arrest under 18, they're not even full adults. Look at the numbers. Again, 71.1%. Blacks, 26.1%. I'm going down the list. These are young teenagers committing the same crimes that's from different rates, from between young black men and young white men. The numbers are the same, like if they're full adults. No comparison. Can y'all tell? Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is just only 6 years ago. And we can go further down. No comparison. It's the same information. Look at this. Look at it. See? No comparison. Any questions? Any goddamn questions? And I'm sorry if y'all guys can't see it. I this is a different view, but it is what it is. I'm just reading the numbers. But if you're doing Discord, you could probably get this information. Let's continue on with the video tape, man, because I don't need to show no more of this. I think I made my point so far. I might show one more thing, but yeah. All right. Let's go.
in fact, that conviction rates do indicate that. I think that you have a point where you can say, hey, we should look into these conviction rates and see if it's the case that, A, B, and C is correct. That's fine, right? But it would have to be a lot of convictions, I'm telling you. It's pretty bad and lopsided. But anyway, back to this. I guess
I do have the data, by the way.
Yeah.
It says per capita, let's see here, hold on. Per capita, black arrest rates for rape/sexual assault are estimated at 2 to 3 times higher than white rates, 2.6x overall.
Yeah, I fully believe that black men are arrested for rape more. 100%.
At 3
But I
times
don't
the rate?
Yes, but I don't think they commit it more than white men.
Based on what? Just
The fact
like
that
your gut feeling?
Sexual assault rates are pretty consistent across races.
See, EnemyCharlie was giving Andrew the business before she got to the point where she started talking about Andrew's wife and all that stuff, which I don't really care much. I mean, the man's married to this woman, so he's happy. But overall, she was giving him the business, the work. She looked at it and said, okay, that's nice, but you commit more. And he doesn't want to hear the truth from his own woman. Regardless, she wants to eat pussy. That's another story. And we're not really worried about that right now because we're here dealing with the debates. And debate is about, feminism and all that stuff. And she is a feminist herself. And she's telling you, Andrew, you're bullshit. You're bullshitting her. What you presented to me is not factual. Yeah, I hear you that maybe this race of men might have the potential, but overall, you and a group of men in our own culture group, we're higher. And she's not lying about that either. What it says, what it tells you. If anybody agree or disagree, please, guys, leave your thoughts in the chat room now. You gotta subscribe to the channel to really interact. That's how it is. Or you can put a super chat a question of this stream. Let's go.
No, they're not. No,
The
they're
women that
not. They're
experience-
not.
Except for indigenous women.
No, just not at all. They're not consistent.
All right.
Like, for instance, Asians, they commit the least amount of it. They get the least amount in the United States of sexual assaults. Right? Now, that's true that they consistently commit the least amount. I'm willing to agree with that. But that would obviously have a logical entailment that black men commit the most amount, right?
No.
That would be the
No.
entailment there. So, like,
No.
if we're saying that it's the rates are consistent, so Asians are consistently low, then wouldn't that put like black men at consistently high?
No.
I would be curious about that because if we look at like Korea and Japan, where SA is kind of like so severe to the point that like women in Japan have their own like train carts. I would be curious if that has to do again with people feeling pressure to conceal these sorts of things, being less
No, it's
likely
because
to
the-
loyalty to
Because those cultures
family.
are fucking perverted as shit because they're godless. And that's one thing that people forget about is like it's like how Japan has all the laws where they have the fucking young girls walking around in the mini skirts at all of the schools and the principals, they're always for it, right? They sell women's underwear out of vending machines. They have massive porn shops where you start on the bottom floor and as you continue to ascend, it goes to worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and more hardcore porn. It's a very perverted society.
Well, I lived in Nevada for 6 years, so this feels a little.
Nevada's not as perverted as Japan.
Reno, there was porn shops everywhere. It's been cleaned up now.
I lived in Reno too, and no,
It's
there
been
wasn't.
cleaned up now.
There wasn't. I was there 20 years ago. There was not.
20. Okay, well, what part of Reno did you? Well, I mean, you don't.
What
have
do
to
you
tell me. I
mean?
don't want you to dox yourself.
Reno's not big enough for us to be quibbling about parts, okay?
Well, at least when I was a kid, there was a whole lot of naked ladies everywhere.
Yeah, there was strip clubs. There's still strip clubs. There was prostitution houses that you had to go to way outside of Reno. And then...
Bunny Farm, yeah.
Yeah, and then...
They do weird things there.
Okay, well, I don't care, and that's gross. But anyway, the point is that inside of Reno proper, no, it looks like a pretty normal city. There's a couple of extra strip clubs in the downtown area. But no, it was never like an overly gross city.
If we Googled youth pastor crime, I feel I've done this before. It's all sex crimes. So I feel like if we are saying that Japan and Korea are perverse because they are godless, I think that we should look at the rate of like essays committed in churches.
As long as we can look at the amount of essays committed in public schools, Charlie.
Sure, yeah,
By
we can
teachers.
absolutely do that.
And so the thing is like, wouldn't it stand to reason that predators go where the prey is?
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
then why wouldn't they move into being youth pastors to get access to children, just like they go to
Yeah,
public
of
schools
course.
to get access to children?
Of course, but those
Yeah.
are people that we assume believe in God.
And we assume that the secular ethics held by teachers, same ethics that you hold, right, or that they're not going to diddle kids, but they fucking do.
Well, I mean, what percentage of teachers are atheist? To be fair, I grew up in a very religious area.
Highly secular.
Okay.
Public schools are highly secularized, where well, first of all, the school system itself is secular, period.
Yeah, of course.
It's removed from religion.
Yeah.
How many identify as being Christian in the school system who are women? Most of them are college educated, and as you know, the rates of not believing in God among the college educated are pretty high.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
But I also think it does highly depend on which area that you are.
Well,
are
yeah,
looking
everything
at.
depends
like, I
on-
think cities are going to.
Yeah,
be
they depend on
very
areas,
secular.
but that would be the same thing for the youth pastor. You know, that's going to depend on area too. So the point
essay
is,
rates?
yeah,
is going to depend on area for
Sure.
youth pastors.
of course, just like it would for
Why?
public schools. Of course.
No, I think the essay rates would remain the same. What I mean is religion.
I don't think they do remain the same. Depending on demographic, it's not going to remain the same. Like, for instance, I would say that in minority schools, the chances of molestations probably increase.
Yeah.
So then, no, that's
Well,
not.
because who's going to listen to those kids?
Yeah, so it doesn't stay the same then. That's my point.
We have some chats coming through, so we'll take a break for those.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Past Chi George donated $200.04. If feminism is a net positive for Western society, including other first world countries,
Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe channel. I was wondering what stats you're talking about. I'm kind of curious. Let's continue.
then why are many feminist countries suffering the effects of birth rate and worker shortage crisis?
That is because when women are given the choice to not have kids, a lot of the time they choose not to have kids until they're ready for it. And while this problem is currently being mitigated
No, it's not.
through immigration, I do. Okay, hold on. Listen to me. I need you to hear me out.
All right, I'm
I
gonna
need you
hear
to just
you out.
pause and hear me out. People are resources, and to keep the world running on this grand global industrialized scale that we have it running on, we have to have resources. I think even if you don't believe in climate change, resources are finite. We will reach a point in which the rate at which we produce, and we already produce too much, like things. We already make too much stuff that we don't use. We will run out of resources. I think that we are going to have to account for a world in which we will make less and have less resources. Less people is good for that. I think that this just signals the beginning of what will become a trend across the world, which is women having less children. And I think we have to figure out the problem or the answer to that problem sooner rather than later.
Yeah, so everything you just said is total bullshit, and I'll demonstrate it all. The book which predicted this is called The Population Bomb. It predicted the same exact thing that you did, that as the population increases, resources are going to become more finite.
Oh no, it's not population increase. It's the how much we produce. We make too much. We are making too much.
For who?
To sell crap
To who?
to the consumers.
So then that
And
would
then we
require
waste it. We
would that
make too
require
much all
more
the
or
time.
less people to sell more?
No, but we make more
Hang
than
on,
we
Charlie.
actually need.
Would it make? Yeah, okay, right. But the more people you have, the more shit you make, right?
Yes, and we also build it to break.
Yeah, but
so we're no longer.
Yeah, I get it. But just hang on.
All right, before they continue on, another one I found because I was looking through multiple sources, and out of how many tools I have here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 4 to 5 tools. More nearly, I think 3 or 4 of them, except Copilot, and Copilot still verified the information. Yeah, what they're saying about between black man and white man in regards to sexual assault, rape, or whatever you want to call it, that's inaccurate. And not inaccurate, it's false. And like I said, these guys just reading off the computer. They're not showing you no data because they do the same Google. I did the Google and I did the artificial intelligence, and I got something totally different from them. And I'm showing you what I got. Matter of fact, I'm going to show you one more thing. Since they wanted to do show and tell. Oh, my fault. One more. Yeah, I'm going to show y'all here. And this is, yes. And the problem per capita is inaccurate. Because that's the only thing they will use to delineate between this group of race of men and the other group of men. And we go by actual numbers. Because they will use per capita, they will use the numbers and the percentage. They did not show none of that. Andrew didn't show it, and Brian didn't show it. All they did is they read it and showed some little what they call a pie graph that it got from Twitter, but don't show no reference of numbers from other data. That's why I don't go by per capita no more. Anytime any non-black person go by per capita, I'm gonna go by and look at them funny and say you're bullshitting now. We have computer, we have Google, we have AI, we have information to help find this. It has to match. I don't go by per capita. And at the point now, I will never go by per capita because what I've noticed and learned, this is just me, when there actual information that shows the falsity of non-black men, particularly white men, they will sit there, divert it. They will make some excuse on it, and they'll go as even far as to not accept the information. They are just as delusional as black women. Unfortunately, they're delusional as black women. Because that's like a woman talking about it's not true and all this, I feel my feelings. No, we don't go by feelings. We go by, is the information factual? If you're going to compare this set of people and this set of people, we at least got to be accurate. And we got to get away from our feelings. Now, the only thing I could say I would agree is maybe the so-called arrests in regards to what they said, violent crimes. I was sure earlier about what they said, manslaughter, all that stuff. And we all know there's reason for that. That now it's come to find out if you don't got the money and they say they convict you on something like that, you are going to do two things: either go to trial or take a plea bargain. And most non-white men in the United States or in this community take the plea bar because they don't got the money to fight it. But with other groups of people, other groups of men, they'll fight it regardless because they got representation and they got the money, unfortunately. So now I'm going to show one more thing. We're going to show it. Where is it? And this is what they consider Twitter made, or what they call Grok. Same question was asked. Statistically, of sexual assault, right? Physical violence, etc., by race, and it shows comprehensive, yada yada. It says here from 2019, from 2023, and we're in 2025, so we're still waiting for data on it, but like past performance is consistent to present performance. It shows here, preparatory race often in minors population. The white men are roughly 67% of the rest. Black men, 25-30%, and other groups less than that. And data is interrupted. Only 31% of sexual assaults report by BGS, and also arrests, convictions. Blacks men twice are convicted, arrests for so-called violent crimes. If you don't got the money to fight it, you will take the plea bar and you will do the time. It is what it is. And male prepared 90%, right? Blah blah blah. And it goes for sexual assault. It says overall 99% is male because women report it. That's how it goes. And thing you see here by race, by sexual assault statistic perpetrator of race, it shows here white men, 67% report innocence. Alleged population share 58% of that. 58% violent victimized, including sexual assault, from up to 2023. Black men, only 25 to 30%, and higher than 30% population. Hispanic men. And we go down more further. Split breakdowns. White perpetrators are 58% of the incidents. Blacks, 27%. Intimate partner violence. Again, what you see here, whites, 55%, blacks, 30%. And we go down physical violence statistic perpetrator race. Overall, by 2.6 million incidents, 7% male perpetrators. By race, 58% again, by 1.5 million. Blacks, 27%, 700,000. And it goes down. We go further down. IPV, physical violence, black men only 30%, higher rates per capita, but whites are 55% higher by per capita. So what we talking about here? What are we saying here? I'm gonna stop sharing this. You live in a bubble and you want to make yourself look good. I get it. It makes sense. I would try to make myself look as perfect as possible in front of not only other groups of men, but other women, especially if I want to have access to not only my one, but other groups of women. Because the delusion is I'm all seeing, I'm all perfect. I cannot do no wrong. I'm God in the face of other races of people. And that's the conversation we don't have. You know what I'm saying? So really, truly, these are the numbers. These are the numbers. I could dig into FBI statistics. It'll tell me the same thing. And any other bureau that keeps the track of these numbers, the raw numbers, it says otherwise. Now, for those that think that you want to still paint yourself as a perfect person because your group is so-called better also, have at it. Good luck. But overall, people that use common sense and logic and we look at things through a microscope and we look at your side eye, we're going to look at you as weirdos. Let it take continue. Because I had to do this because this alone, EnemyCharlie, she questioned it and she still fought against it because she doesn't accept bullshit from any person. And yes, Andrew is a red pillar. He is a pillar. He pushes marriage, advocates marriage. The problem is he's in the wrong environment to advocate now in this time of climate because most men, especially in his own group, are not going to be looking for marriage now, especially in the United States of America, the way how the laws are set. And because of this now, my good friend Jay Shine just shared me something of what's going on that a lot of in his own group are roasting the shit out of him right now because they find out all that ish that he's pushing throughout the internet was all bullshit. They did not know this man was married to a woman that had 3 different children before I met him. That's a problem. That's a big problem. And it shows what they call fake. You're scamming. A lot of men that are trying to look for guidance or seek for or look for some are trying to look for sincere men that's living life and not living an alternate life. And that's the biggest problem we have here. So let me keep playing. I'm gonna play a video from my other good friend Destiny on more about this. Let's go.
Hang on, just stay with me. If you make more stuff for more people, then that infers you need more people. And what you're saying is we need to, as the birth rates decrease, we're going to stop making more stuff for more people because there's less people.
Well, I think that we're going to run out of resources to do so. I think it will become more dangerous, more taxing on the environment, and
To
lead
what?
to more instability. To continue like rapid industrialization, like again, making the amount of crap that we do.
But we only make the amount of crap we do because we have a lot of people, right?
We make more than we actually need, though. I mean, you see grocery stores throw away all the food that they
But do you
produce.
understand how that doesn't answer the question? Like, my question is, if we had 5 people, are we going to make less for them than 9 people, even if we make more than what 9 people need?
Sure, but that's not actually how capitalism functions. The rate of production always goes up. Even when needs are met, it always, always, always goes up forever. Like, never-ending growth is the point, like a cancer. And again, we always make things to break. We make things to break so that we can keep selling people the same things. If we produced as much as we needed and we made things to not break, then
But Charlie, the population bomb predicted that, and just let me finish, that society was going to increase in size, and what was going to happen is, because of the massive amount of resources that would then be necessary, there was going to be a collapse. It was going to bomb. The opposite happened. The population exploded, and now we had all of the manpower on deck in order to take care of everybody. Food distribution, like under your crazy system, right?
We have enough food to feed everyone, correct.
Yeah, but that's only because we have the people resource. That's the only reason. Like, do you know the logistical nightmare it is to get bananas all over the world? They grow in like 3 places.
It's crazy. But what I'm saying is
how do you do that without people?
That's not sustainable, though.
Why isn't that fucking sustainable? Yeah, it is.
I mean, we're going to run out of natural resources eventually.
What natural resources do you think we're going to run out? You put the seed in the ground and it grows, and then it makes more seeds. That's how it works. It's been going like that for thousands of years.
Forest is one, oil as well. I mean, so much of the Amazon has been mowed down to grow soy to feed to cows. And then they have, like, what is it, the cheese cave in Wisconsin? Mm-hmm. Where they store all the cheese that they're not selling. And we also have to supplement farmers when they don't sell the stuff that they're making, which sucks. So again, like this rate of production is not sustainable. Like
yeah, but that's not, look, if it was the case that you wanted to actually do something about that, then wouldn't you move towards a more capitalist society? Because under a more capitalist society, we wouldn't be subsidizing fucking anybody for anything, right? The whole point.
Well, yeah, I mean, with farmers specifically, yes, that would change, but also there wouldn't be the same pressure to create significantly more than we actually need. And also when it comes to,
well, they're not making more than we need. If you're storing cheese, you're storing it to sell it later, right?
No, it's because it's overproduction. I mean, do you know how much food grocery stores throw out?
Oh, yeah, tons, because it expires.
Tons. Yes, because we're making more than we need.
Yeah, but you have to do that because you have what's called a market predictor. If you don't have a market predictor, you know how much worse it would be? Like just trying to guess how many tomatoes people wanted to eat. That would be really difficult to do. So you have a market predictor and you do an overage of that because you're like, well, we could sell that much or we may make a little bit more than we actually are going to sell. But we want to have more because...
It's a bit more than a little bit more.
In which field?
I mean, in like...
Because it's scalable, right? Like you're trying to make for every single market enough ground beef, but you're never going to be able to hit that on the nose. So wouldn't you rather come in over than under? Like that's the whole point, isn't it?
Sure, I guess. But again, we are at in a place where it's not just, trying to have enough to ensure that you have a little bit of a surplus. It's making as much as possible.
To meet the demand.
Not the demand. I think with...
Yeah,
I don't
the demand.
Speak on farmers. I don't want to speak on farmers because I don't.
Well, they're subsidized.
Yeah,
that's
they're subsidized
different.
again.
But most people only bring to market what they think they're going to be able to sell.
Do you think that farmers do farmers make more? Do they get more subsidies when they make more?
Final thought on this one, if you guys can.
Okay, yeah, we'll bring it back to feminism.
And we do have some more Q&As coming through.
Okay.
We'll just move it on then. We have Jones here with the
Mossy
message.
Jones donated $100. By Andrew's logic, does he want to roll back the civil rights movement protections against discrimination? Plus, discrimination is against Christian ethics. There are verses in Scripture that condemn it.
Yeah, so that's great. Are we supposed to legislate that into law, though? Are we supposed to legislate it into law, or is the whole point of following Christian ethics that you're doing it of your own volition? So I don't see any problem. Like, people discriminate against each other all the time for all sorts of reasons that make a lot of sense. Like, just, a lot of times discrimination makes a lot of sense. And people always pretend that it doesn't, but it does. For instance, organizations that don't want to hire women, I completely fucking understand why they don't want to. I totally get it. Women cause all sorts of problems in a workplace. They have to now deal with, coworkers potentially having sex, or all sorts of allegations that wouldn't normally happen in intersexual dynamics that now are being brought into the workplace. I totally understand why men wouldn't want to hire women. This seems fine to me. When you're talking about the Civil Rights Act itself, I don't think that there's any problem with saying that, look, you have to provide medical care if there's a black man dying in front of your building, okay? Maybe we can make some compromises there. But when it comes to the fact that you can tell a black man that he can't serve a white person, or he has to serve a white person because they're white, I'm not really sure that I'm not really sure that should be codified into law. I think that has nothing to do with actual freedom, and that's all bullshit cope. Like, how's that maximize freedom for anybody? It doesn't. It doesn't. And you have a business, and it should be up to you to be able to hire and fire who you want for any reason, any time, because it's yours.
So as Americans, I feel that our country is...
Now they're talking about overconsumption and stuff, which, we could have that conversation because things do expire. But in my opinion, the earth and how things are manufactured is well enough to feed a population of over, I think we're at 8 billion people. But because in certain countries we run under capitalist law, we're not supposed to be feeding people that don't got it. Either you got the money to pay for the product or you starve. That's how it goes. You make, I take. That's how it goes. So in regards to overconsumption and deplete a resource, that is a corporation issue, which certain governments and stuff are regulated because there is something as when you are abusing resource. So to Charlie's point, let's go.
Naturally, diverse, and inevitably you have to encounter and
it's
live with
unnaturally
people.
diverse.
Well, I mean,
Not naturally
you
diverse.
can blame we could talk about, colonizers and slavery and, economic crises around the world, some of which we've manufactured. It's like you have to learn how to live with people who are different from you.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No,
if you want
you
to
don't.
live in America, you do. You kind of how do
But
you
see
live
how
your
that's
life?
not natural? Like how you contradict your position when you say,
How
it's
is
a
it
natural. It's
unnatural?
natural. It's like it's not natural. The truth is that people naturally don't gravitate to people who are much like. They usually gravitate to people who are like them, not unlike them. Right?
All right, I'm gonna switch gears. I'm gonna continue with this videotape, but let me play from my good friend Destiny in regards to more of the falsification of white and black and the violence, especially when it comes to assault. Listen carefully, and please, guys, hit the like button. I know you guys enjoying the stream, y'all watching. I got over 30, 40, 50, wherever who was in the building. Likes are free. Hit the like button, please. I appreciate it. Let's go.
Ruffle a few feathers. But y'all be telling black women to date outside their race. I just be trying to understand where are these white men that y'all be talking about that black women should be dating. Now, I ain't talking about me. I got me a beautiful chocolate king at home. I'm good. But these white men that y'all be telling us today, I don't really understand, because when I just be out living my beautiful black girl life, white men look at me as if like I belong somewhere in a barn getting raped by their nephew. And that don't give endearing. That don't give cute. That don't give none of that. So, like, where are these men that y'all be talking about? Because, like, I don't know. Like, I don't be seeing what y'all see. So, I don't know. Maybe my hair not messed up enough. Not that I need him to be checking for me. But I'm just saying, like, if this is the pool that women got to pull from, I don't know about that. That is giving scary, sis. I don't know about that.
Basically saw
Yeah, well, to the black young black woman said it best. Yeah, it's getting scary, and they will potentially. I mean, because we look at the data. I mean, and nowadays we see in in live, unfortunately. Yeah, they have the potential they will touch and abuse you because you're an object. If he's not doing it to some woman, he damn sure doing it to other races of men's women. And the highest he does it is on black women. And some black women that's so stupid and arrogant, they will run into the arms of their assaulter. Let's continue. Let's continue.
Video of this black older lady saying that it used to be a saying back in the day where they used to say that white men and black women were like the two freest individuals in America. She goes in detail talking about how back in the day white men used to walk around if it was their black wives or girlfriends or nannies or whatever, and they never went through the same consequences if a black man was dating a white woman or just doing anything with a white woman. Like, people turned their cheek to the white man with his black wife or black girlfriend or whatever he was doing with the black.
Yeah, because in his mind, it's his property, it's his booty. You know, he needs side booty from time to time. He needs some black tail. So you are the tail. You know, that's why the society, especially with other men, even before the integration of 65 or 64, right? That, you know, they got free reign, free access, you know, if their so-called their so-called white counterpart is not giving them sex, they go turn to black women, and either black women give it up or it's been taken from them. It's another avenue of accessibility that they want, and another form of mate garden to hoard all the vagina, all of the backside. He loves that. But you see now, he doesn't have that free range like he used to. He still get access to a lot of black women. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, because most black women nowadays, they will open their legs for, you know, most majority of men, including Mr. Charlie. But and now he doesn't like it now. His woman, his own Caucasian woman, is out there getting her back blown and using her mouth to other races men, especially black men, and he doesn't like it. But it is what it's, that's life. So I'm let this sister cook more into this.
Black lady. She also said that the white man was free because the white man never really gone or went through any major consequences for the amount of things that they are able to get away with. And it's crazy because in that same video, somebody in the comment section wrote that their grandmother used to say that a white man would catch a cold and blame his wife for it and kill her. And she used to literally like try to figure out why her grandma used to say that. Until she watched that video, I guess now she knows why her grandma used to say that now. She also goes into details of like a lot of white wives would like just used to deal with their white husbands just acting crazy. A lot of them would stay for the long run because they didn't like their husbands anyway, or they stayed for the long run for the money and the collateral and a whole bunch of other things that came with dealing with the crazy ass white man. And I love that she like went in detail with this, because the loud thing with this whole thing is that so many things has changed from then to now, but the one thing that has not changed is the freedom that white men have. Like, if we want to be realistic, the individual who's producing the most violence in America is the white man, simply off the simple fact that white men get away with a lot. So who knows? Like, I remember asking AI one time, like, if white men actually went through the same consequences as black men when it comes to violence and criminal activity, how high would the percentage be when it comes to each individual producing violence? It said white men would be at about 80 to 85%. That's what AI said. And AI was just making an educated guess for me. But it broke it down in which crimes it will be. It said 70 to 75% when it comes to sexual assault of the minor, and of just a woman, or just sexual assault, period. But of a minor, it like put that up first. It said about 65% when it comes to domestic violence and like murder cases or whatever. And like 65% also when it comes to just petty crimes. Like, even AI kind of know that y'all a little violent.
All right, there you have it. Any questions? Let's continue on with the tape. Fair use. Enjoy.
Also, again, we live in a very diverse nation.
Yeah, but that was that's
goal
that's
is
due to
to
being
see
it
each
was
other as
forced on us.
Americans.
That's forced on us.
Sure,
it's wildly
yes.
unpopular everywhere. Every Western nation that exists, mass migration is wildly unpopular. People hate. Why do you think Trump got in? He got in because people were sick of mass migration. They hate it. It's like, that's not natural. That's totally fucking unnatural. That's completely the opposite of natural. What happened is a bunch of fucking corporate fucks wanted to exploit cheap labor.
Yes.
Okay? Yeah, exactly.
Yes, correct.
And so the thing is like, I don't want that to happen anymore. That's akin to me to slavery, 1. And 2, the people here don't like it. And 3, right? This is our nation. We don't have to share it with anyone.
Like it on the... Your ancestors were immigrants, and my ancestors were immigrants.
No.
And they had to...
No.
They had to
No,
assimilate.
they weren't immigrants. No. First of all,
okay, my ancestors were immigrants.
That's great.
They were immigrants, and
but let's take it all the way back to the beginning.
To the colonizers?
Yeah, no, they weren't colonizers.
Yes, they made colonies. No. They made colonies for European countries.
So,
what do you call that?
So
other
did the
than
Native Americans who
colonizer?
came here from Asia. They made colonies. They were colonizers.
So a colony has to have like a base. It has to have like a base country.
Yeah, it has to.
So indigenous people packing up all their crap
going
in Asia and moving, and that's their permanent settlement. That's different than having a colony.
What? I'm sorry, I'm confused.
Most of the colonizers were not living there forever. It was colonies. People went back and forth.
Yeah, are you aware?
They were colonies that were under the jurisdiction of European nations.
Do you consider all Asians to be the same people group?
No.
So multiple people.
Incredibly diverse.
So multiple people groups came here over the span of thousands of years?
Yes.
Okay, great. So then, guess what that means? That if you have people who come all the way over here and they make themselves a nice home base, right? It's now their land, and then more Asians come across that land bridge, right? To wherever they're at, and they make themselves a little base, they're doing what, Charlie? They're colonizing.
That's not what a colony is. Can
what
you
is
get
it?
The definition of a colony?
Pull up a colony.
A country or area under the full or partial political control of another country, typically a distant one, and occupied by settlers from that country. Another definition, a group of people of one nationality or ethnic group living in a foreign city or country.
So it would be under definition
with
two.
the
Hang on.
control of another foreign nation from a far
you're
distance.
lying.
That's not. He just read it aloud.
Read part two. Again, definitions have two. This has two different definitions, and you're selectively only picking yours. Out of convenience. Read definition 2
Wouldn't
for colonizer.
that go against every part of American history?
No, it goes against your stupid feminist bullshit. Read section 2.
Colonies are
they were colonies too. Those were colonies also, and also what I gave.
It's actually not feminism. It is actually factual, which I'm going to reveal after they finish going back and forth. Let's listen more.
Give you examples of are also colonies.
If
it's
I was
both.
even going to grant that absurdity, like then what were the?
Can you read definition 2, Charlie? Stop spurging, Charlie. Stop spurging, Charlie. Stop spurging, Charlie. Charlie, just let him read the second definition.
A group of people of one nationality or ethnic group living in a foreign city or country.
What's your objection, Charlie? What's your objection now?
Okay, so tell me.
What's the objection now, Chuck? What is it?
Normal people with brains understand that when we say colonizer and colony, they're called colonies because it is under the control of European nations. Are you going to doubt that? What was the foreign nation that controlled the indigenous nations?
Can you read definition 1, Brian?
Yes. A country or area under the full or partial political control of another country, typically a distant one and occupied by settlers from that country.
So, Charlie, what you're talking about right now, you're right. Those are colonizers. And what I'm talking about right now are also colonizers. So,
what city did they settle in? What nation did they settle in?
Well, if you want to look up the Aztec nations, we can. If you want to look up the Mayan.
The cities weren't there until they went there.
And then other people came after and settled in those areas and built colonies.
And they were not within foreign nations or foreign cities.
Yes, they were foreign to them. Yes, of course.
Those were not settled areas.
They were settled areas. So this land bridge existed between Asia.
I know that there were various, but they were not colonizing foreign nations.
Well, according to the definition that we just read, unless you can tell me why that definition's wrong, they were.
Well, unless you can tell me what freaking vassal state they were
That's not. Read the definition again.
What foreign nation they
Read
were
the
under
definition
control
again,
of.
Brian.
One or two.
Two.
A group of people of one nationality or ethnic group living in a foreign city or country.
Ethnic group.
You think that indigenous people living in the U.S. they are colonizers, if I were to even grant that, which is ridiculous, in the same capacity that European settlers were colonizers.
Okay, do you understand that what you're doing right now is fallacious? It's called equivocation. I literally separated out the two concepts. Both are colonizers. Both. You say only one is. Yet, I gave you the definition, right? A legitimate definition for colonizer, which includes you just have to be part of that ethnic group and go to a foreign land that already has people in it, and now you are a colonizer. And so the thing is, Charlie, is like, I'm sorry that we colonized the colonizers, but it's definitionally true that we did. They were colonizers first. Sorry, Native Americans. They colonized first.
Those were not settled lands. I do not accept this.
Oh, they weren't? They weren't settled lands,
they
so
were not
you didn't.
Settled lands.
So over how many thousands?
Did indigenous peoples fight over land?
Yes.
Yes, correct. But were they colonizing the areas where they settled in?
If they were migrating, one ethnic group migrating to another land which was already occupied, they were colonizing it. Natives did it all the fucking time. Constantly. They moved all over. The Plains Indians did it all the time. The Pueblo Nations did it all the time. The South American, very far South American tribes did it all the time. They were constantly fighting.
Do you think that is the kind of language that the average person would use to describe what the Native Americans did?
Yeah, I think if it was explained to them, they would, yes.
They would say
I think that what's happened is a bunch of you bullshit artists gave us the myth of the noble savage.
Is that from the Gracie Strangler?
It's the myth of the noble savage. The idea.
No, I know what the noble savage is.
Yeah, and it's a myth.
I am incredibly well aware that there were many indigenous tribes that were very violent.
It's not just that.
Fought.
No.
Yes,
No. That doesn't capture.
I'm aware that they took land from each other and fight.
That doesn't even begin to capture. No. They weren't just very violent. Why don't you tell the truth? They were raping kids. Why don't you tell the truth that they were taking people on top of pyramids and cutting their fucking hearts out and sacrificing it to Ra? Like, these weren't, it wasn't just like, they were a little different than us. They were a little more violent. They were, no, they weren't the same. It was a completely different people group.
You think Europeans
and they were
are
fucking
not capable
colonizers.
Of violence?
Yeah, the whole different brand.
Do you know what?
Whole different brand. If I came across a people group that was sacrificing human beings and also essaying little kids, I'd fucking take them out too.
Well, pagan nations or pagans allegedly have done things like that.
And the Christians converted them from their heathenistic barbarians ways, didn't they?
Do you think that the Spanish Inquisition was civil?
No. The Spanish Inquisition was Catholics in a single region. It was a single region. When Catholicism owned the whole world.
What they did to each other, was that civilized?
No, of course not.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I agree.
It was awful.
But you're also talking about an organization which spanned the entire world and controlled it.
Sure.
And one region of it had issues like that. It's
I'm
like
just bringing up an example
the United
of Christians
States
doing bad things.
Yeah,
like, it's not
Christians
just
do
because
bad
they're
things. But again, if I were to come across a society that did that was doing that type of shit, I completely understand why they got fucking wiped out. I get it.
Well, the Aztecs, yes. There were indigenous
and
tribes
the Mayans
that were...
and the Incas. And I mean, but the list goes on and on.
They were not as violent. The Aztecs
Yes, the Mayans were very violent.
Pretty much take the cake, I feel like, for the most
part. Well,
violent.
whatever. The point is like,
but
look,
the indigenous tribes
they
that
were colonizers is my point. And feminists have been lying to people for years, and so have progressive leftists, and pretending that Europeans came here and colonized these poor people's lands and took them over. They were already colonizers. So who do they get? Who would you have recommended they give the land back to? Like, who should they have given it back to?
That would have to be determined by them.
Yeah, because we stole their stolen land. Did we steal their stolen land?
It is ludicrous to consider the American colonies to be the same as that at all. Like, do you like when we say colony and colonizer? You understand that people think of the American colonies, the 13 colonies, right? That were under jurisdiction.
Do you understand how you're equivocating again? Like when
Like,
you
this
say
is integral to American
when
history,
you
though,
say-
that we were colonies that rebelled.
well, when you say
against our-
colonizer, you mean a colony, right?
Yes, foreign people that live in a colony established by a foreign state that they are
Or-
under the jurisdiction of, that
or-
exists primarily for trade purposes.
Or an ethnic group which goes to an already settled area, right, and begins to settle it against the will of the people in the
But
settled
there's the
area.
suggestion of trade and of a foreign nation being in
It doesn't-
control of that area.
It doesn't have to be. That's not definitionally true.
I mean, I guess very technically, but that's not how people would use it.
It's not how you leftists use it because you want to pretend. You want to pretend that the natives weren't colonizers themselves when they were, because they were.
I think it's referring to a very specific historical context.
No, I
in
think
which
that
the
it's just
13
trying to say white
colonies-
people are bad because they
No,
came and took
it's-
the Indians' land.
It's
like
literally
meanie heads.
on the basis of how those colonies functioned. They were under the jurisdiction.
So I would take it. Andrew does not believe that non-black people have the capacity of stealing someone else and taking someone else's land, but he does not read his own history, which I find ironic. And I did a little digging on the colonizer and colonists, and that's gonna be debunked in a little second. But I'm gonna let them continue to talk. Let's go, guys. The like button, share stream. You know.
Of foreign nations, and they rebelled against them and established the United States of America,
agree.
and were no longer colonies. Like, it's not me being a annoying leftist.
Yes, I
to
agree
say
with
that.
basic
It's
American
like,
history.
again,
I don't understand your point though. When you call us colonizers, is that meant to like be nice to us, or is
It's
that
a
meant?
fact.
Is it meant to be disparaging?
It's a fact.
Is it meant to be disparaging? Yes, it's clearly meant to be disparaging.
Not in every context.
Are you going to
because it did
Are you
just
really
happen.
going to try to sit here and fucking gaslight
Yeah.
me? That when you call us colonizers, that's not meant to be fucking gaslight me, Charlie. Go ahead. I'm listening. Gaslight
it's
me.
a fact. If I call my ancestors colonizers, that's what they were. Some of them were, some of them weren't.
Yeah, and it's not. Is that meant to be disparaging though? Isn't it?
It's a fact.
Is it meant? Is it meant to be? I'm not asking you what's factual. I'm asking you
I'm
if it's
saying
meant
it
to be.
in a negative or positive
If I
way,
go over to an ugly fat chick and I say, "Hey, you ugly fat bitch," right? That's factual, right?
I mean, do you think?
Hang on, Charlie. Is that factual?
Well, we don't know if she's a bitch.
Okay. Well, is it factual that she's ugly? If I just say, "Hey, ugly fat lady," is that factual?
Oh, beauty is subjective.
Oh,
Fat,
okay.
maybe. Fat could be factual.
Is that
Sure.
meant? Is that meant to be nice?
No, it's mean.
So it's disparaging. So again, so now that we know that you know what that fucking word means, and I'm not asking you for the truth of the matter, I'm not asking if it's factual. When you say colonizer, is it meant to be disparaging or not?
I'm not saying it's disparaging.
Oh, God.
I'm not saying it in a disparaging way.
What do you-
I could use it in a disparaging way. I have, of course, historically used it in a disparaging way because there is a negative connotation.
Yeah,
attached to it.
because you mean it. You fuckers all mean it in a disparaging way to say white people are bad, and you just get literally right now. This is the worst example of gaslighting I've
Do
ever
you think I
seen
think
in my
all white
life.
people are bad?
Huh?
Do you think I think white people are bad?
I think when you call them colonizers, you're doing it in a disparaging way. And how am I a colonizer, by the way?
Well, that wasn't all white. I didn't call you a colonizer.
Who is the colonizer then?
Any of the ancestors that immigrated to the colonies.
I see. So
God damn, you know, it's the first time I ever noticed Andrew is this delusional that he cannot admit that your forefathers came from Europe to come settle to this soil to colonize and make a new territory, a new land in, I would say, make the land in regards to their homeland, which is England, or, you know, certain parts of Western European nation. So you have colonized America. It is what it is. Let's go.
So, like, if my ancestors immigrated to the colonies, am I a colonizer?
No, your ancestors were.
Oh, okay. So not me.
No.
So I have nothing to do with that then.
I mean, I think that those like historical circumstances are still reflected in the
Of
dynamics
course,
today.
yeah. So
However,
I'm the beneficiary of the evil white colonizer.
Yes.
Yes, when your ancestors have the opportunity to make a lot of money, yes, you do benefit.
Then don't gaslight me next time, Charlie, and just be fucking honest and say, Andrew, when I say colonizer, I mean bad white people, because that's what you mean when you say it. Isn't that the case? Instead of gaslighting.
You know what I'm very angry about now? Listen to this. These people think they are above approach, that there is no bad white person. Is this what he's trying to push when he does his content in front of non-white people? And you know it's funny, black people or any other ethnic group will eat this, take this in, will defend him. They'll even go as far as say that they learned something from him too. He say he saved his life on this, and don't really see the forest for the trees. People are not perfect. Man is flawed, including white men. If white men can come to the grips of this reality and want to stay in their opposites or stay in the delusions, I have nothing for them. And really, truly, it is shown right here, the ignorance, the arrogance. This is my God, man. Let's go.
Bullshitting me? Why don't you just be like, I mean, bad white people?
Sure. I don't think all the colonizers were evil people.
I know, but when you say it in a disparaging way, you're saying bad white people.
If we're talking about America specifically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But anyone can be a
So,
colonizer.
like, just next time, don't fucking gaslight. And so the thing that's so funny is, like, this is why I have to tell you what a colonizer actually is.
No one uses it in that context.
I don't. No, you people don't use it in that context because you want to disparage white people, like you just admitted. That's why you refuse to give people the second definition of what a colonizer is, because you want to disparage white people. You want to pretend that the Indians who were here weren't colonizers when they fucking were, and you just want to disparage. And so that's why it triggered you when I said, "Hey, the Indians who were here were colonizers," and you were like, "No, they weren't. That's ridiculous." They were too, Charlie. They were.
I'm triggered by it not out of race reasons. I'm triggered by it because it's just wildly inaccurate. Even the most right-wing person will refer to the 13 colonies as colonies.
They are colonies. I'm not disputing that.
They're colonies and would not use that word.
Do you know what both and means? Both and? Yes, it's true.
Yes.
13 colonies were colonies, but it's also true that Native Americans were colonizers. Both are true.
That's not the word that people would use.
No, it's not the word you people use because you want to disparage white people. That's the truth.
It's because there's a very, very, very heavy implication that there is a foreign
that white people are bad.
No, that a foreign nation has control of those colonies. That it.
Well, Andrew, you said it. No one else.
Is under the jurisdiction of a foreign nation. Puerto Rico is an American colony.
That's correct. I agree.
Yes, it is a colony under the jurisdiction of the United States. We are a foreign nation.
But I also agree. I also agree that that there can be colonies that have no central home nation. That it's ethnic groups who could be migrating, who can create colonies, like the Huns did. Do you agree that when Huns began to roam, or when the what was the other big one? Not the Huns, the other big Asian, the Mongols, right? When they began to roam, if they decided that they were going to start building on other people's lands, even though they didn't have a central land, they were reporting to, weren't they colonizing that land?
I mean, if it was all under the jurisdiction of their leader, yeah, I would say so.
Then the same thing happened with the natives. That's the same thing. They had leadership inside their tribes. They traversed these massive land bridges over the span of hundreds and thousands of years. So they were consistently colonizing the same lands, Charlie. Same shit.
I just don't think it.
You don't think it because then people can call Native Americans colonizers and it'll piss them off. That's why.
Even if you said that, it wouldn't even be in the same context of white.
Yeah, because there is a moral
equivalency
equivalency to be gained there. Yes, it's like, why is it okay that they can do it as long as there's no like other nation they report to, as long as they just do it because their tribe tells them to. It's the same shit.
I mean, are they busting in and taking land from people?
Yes.
And slaughtering them?
Yes, they were. Yes, they were busting in and taking land and killing fucking people. Yes, and by the way, the natives did that.
Yes, I'm well aware.
Yeah, constantly. What do you mean? Yeah, they did that.
But was it in service of that foreign state that would have control over those colonies?
It doesn't need to be. That's where you're definitionally just lying because you want white people to be bad.
I don't want white people to be bad.
Then why
I
did
just
you
think it's
admit
different.
that you're just trying to, when you say the colonizer, you're using it as a disparaging insult towards white people? That's how you use
Well,
it.
I didn't say it. I said it is typically in a negative context when that word is
Towards
used.
who? White people.
Usually white people,
Yeah,
yes.
usually white people.
Usually white people,
Yeah,
sure.
so that's
But it's
the
also
thing.
a fact, man.
All
I don't
right.
know what to say. I don't know
It's
what
also
to
a
tell
fact that Indians did it, Charlie, and you're fucking. This is why
I am well aware
this
of
is
the
why I
history
hate
of
feminist-
violence and slavery
This is why I hate
committed
feminist
by indigenous
revisionism.
people. I am very well aware
All right.
of that indigenous peoples participated in rape, torture, slavery, and violence. I'm super aware of it. You don't need to tell me that.
Got it.
We have 5 chats. It looked like, did you want to?
I was going to have smoke, but I can do the chats first, unless you want me to have. I'll take the smoke first. Actually, that's probably smarter.
take the smoke.
I gotta pee.
All right,
Unless someone wants to ask me about that question. Or there's one for me, I guess.
Okay, sure. James, well, it's below the threshold. Okay, why not? You're lucky, James. You're lucky. Below the threshold. Enjoy. Charlie, why aren't Mexicans called colonizers? They're descended from Southern Europeans. You won the lottery here, James. Took land from the indigenous people just like Northern Europeans.
They are. They are called colonizers. Indigenous peoples in Mexico are, still oppressed, even by people who share their blood. Do you know how many white Americans, even, settlers, people considered legally white, also had Native American ancestry? It is what it is. There in California, white settlers and Mexican settlers would be paid to hunt down indigenous Californians. So yes, that is.
Okay. Guys, Andrew's on his smoke break. We're gonna, as soon as he comes back, we have some Q&A coming up. I know they came in a while ago. Q&A, $100 plus, well, $99 plus, streamlabs.com/whatever. Also, guys, you can support without any of these YouTube, Streamlabs taking their cut, Venmo, Cash App. That is whatever pod. Just a quick shout, and I'll give you guys a shout out too. Christian, thank you for the 13 on, I believe it was either one of the two. Guys, if you're watching on Twitch.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Let me do something. Let me check. You guys like it so far? Any opposition? Any serious question? Oh, bro, speak. If you wrote something in the chat room and I do not see it on my other end, you're gonna have to either rewrite that clear or put it in the super chat. Either or, it did not pop up what you wrote. All right, let me see. What I'm looking for. Oh, let me see. How long we are? How long we playing? Okay, so let me find it. All right, so it's only at 3 mark.
Yes. Otherwise, it's not really colonized. It's like that's bullshit. It's morally the same equivalency. It's morally equivalent. What's the difference?
Do you think settler is disparaging towards white people?
Settler?
Yeah, settler.
I don't think that you guys use settler as disparaging. I think you use colonizer as disparaging.
Oh, I've heard settler disparaging. I was going to say
It can be.
I will grant that settler that yes, if they were they settled lands.
Yeah. So
Yes.
the thing is like if
Sometimes
you
with no one there, sometimes
yeah, but if you
without.
settle lands, right, that usually means not conflict. Otherwise, it's conquering lands, right?
Well, you can conquer and settle, can't you?
Yeah, after you conquer them, you can then settle, sure. But when you say settlers, like, do you consider the people coming out of Israel to Palestine to be settlers?
People coming out of Israel to Palestine to be settlers?
Yeah, when they come, when they
they're
go,
settlers.
when they're making their settlements.
Yes.
That's not colonization.
It's both, but I would consider them settlers. as well.
Okay, right. So they're colonizer settlers is what you're really saying.
Yes.
Okay, so then you're actually saying that these people were colonizer settlers. When you say settler, you're just pointing back to colonizer in this context.
Kind of. I do feel like, again, to me, the context of there being a foreign nation that they are under the jurisdiction of is important. I feel to the definition of colony.
I feel like it's a morally equivalent statement that you just call us colonizers because it's disparaging to white people, and the reason you don't call Native Americans colonizers, even if they colonized, is because you know that they would consider that disparaging to them. And so, even though these are morally equivalent acts, and it's like it's so obvious to the onlooker, like you realize that, right? Like from my side, it's so obvious to us when your side calls us colonizers and shit like that, that it's anti-white rhetoric, and it's always been anti-white rhetoric.
You guys think about it. I'm
Isn't it? I mean, you have the shit-eating grin because you know it's true, though, right? Like you're just gaslighting. Isn't the whole thing designed as anti-white rhetoric?
All right, before we continue, I got to do this because I see something in the chat room. Something that, you get a special thanks for this sweet donation, the Brother Speaks podcast. Here you go.
Show you the money. Show you the money. Show me the money. Show me the money. Show me the money.
Thank you, bro, for the $10 super chat. And he writes, the difference was whites took over for superiority rather than good of the world. But that's Wilson's trying to push. And truly, indeed. And I appreciate your super chat, brother. I truly love it. Thank you. All right. Sweden is facing because of migration. Okay. All right. Let's keep going.
I feel like you are taking me making a distinction between the 13 colonies, which were under the jurisdiction of a foreign nation, farther than it's meant to go.
Yeah, I don't think so. Because when I see you crazy ass leftists all over TikTok and all over these places talking about colonizer, the last time I saw this in depth, we were watching on the Crucible. There were I don't know how many was with us. Maybe at the time like 9,000 live viewers with me at the time as we were watching people in front of Portland who were trying to resist our nation's laws. And one of the Hispanics who was there was going person to person and calling us colonizers, calling white people colonizers. You need to get the stop ICE right now, you colonizer. You came here and colonized. We have the right to be here. We have the right to be here because you're colonizers. And so the thing is like, yeah, I do think that he meant it, and he literally said it's because you're white. You're the beneficiary of colonization.
Yeah, but that's also kind of hilarious because when you're talking about Portland, you're talking about people with white guilt to the most extreme.
This was a Hispanic guy.
Yeah, I know, but he was talking to the white people.
No, he was talking to white conservatives.
Oh, the white conservatives? Mm-hmm. Okay, never mind.
And he was calling them colonizers.
I thought he was doing that to
and what you guys do,
white liberals and leftists.
Yeah, and you fucking progressives do this constantly.
Really
you call them colonizers, and then at the same time say there's no anti-white rhetoric. There's
I'm not all of those people.
I get it. It's a generalization. I understand, even though you yourself said that you use it disparagingly towards white people. But I mean,
it depends upon the context in which it is.
The context and most of the ways that I've seen you use it in your videos, it was not polite towards white society. That's for sure.
I don't know which videos you're referring to, but that's okay.
Yeah,
like clips or whatever?
Yeah. Like every time I hear you talk about the colonizers, okay, it's not used in like a charitable light. And the beneficiaries of colonizers, it's not used in a charitable light. And when I see that, I know for sure, everybody knows who's watching it, right? We can intuit it out in seconds. And when we put you to the question, we figure it out even faster. That it's anti-white rhetoric masked as being historically accurate. And it's like, it's really not either of those things. It really is just a way for progressives to utilize anti-white rhetoric and pretend that they're not being a bunch of fucking racist assholes. That's what I think. That's what I think is going on.
But those things happened.
Yeah, but when I tell you about things that happened, right, with Native Americans, you're very quick to make excuses for it. And yet, here when it comes to colonization, the idea that you had a clash of cultures, and anytime two cultures clash, this is what happens. Anytime. When you have a disparage between technology,
yes,
it's always the case.
I believe it. Again, my point on the colony just has to do with the foreign state, jurisdiction of a foreign state.
Yeah, that's one definition of colonizing. I agree that these were colonies.
Okay.
I agree that they were beholden to a state, and then they fought for freedom and formed a new state.
So, Andrew, if you agree, what's the argument of the word colonizers? I'm confused, man. Are you guys getting confused? Is this guy talking in circles now? Because what Charlie said, EnemyCharlie says, nothing wrong. She's admitting the fact, the truth, and knows from not only because she has a background in literature, so she reads books. She has a background in literature and some other degrees. So Charlie is reading information. She just don't sit there, run her mouth, and say things unattended. She says it with meaning and intention to show and put the light on a situation. And Andrew's fighting her tooth and nail, calling her feminist and all this nonsense, but she's laying out the actual truth in regards to white people in general. No wrong with that. He is Oh yeah, you said it right there, gaslighting. All right, let's go.
So they were no longer colonizers. They were born on this land. They were settlers. Well, no, at that point, they weren't even settlers. It was their land, right? It was theirs. They fought for it. They got it.
I guess by, European standards, they had claimed the land. Correct.
By all standards. Who has a standard that if you fight and take the land, it's not yours? What culture has that standard? All of them do.
I was thinking more about boundaries. I mean, it could be fought back. They could say, this is our land, we'll take it back, but...
yeah.
I think indigenous people would disagree.
We have
a message from the government of Canada.
Probably about 7 or 8 that I need to let
donated
through.
$200.
They're going to be out of order.
When debating with Andrew, it's best to know your history and not just cherry pick what you like or feel is right. Otherwise, Andrew completely destroys your arguments and worldviews with facts. LMFAO.
This, just for context, this did come in a little bit earlier when you guys were debating, I believe, the race victimization stuff. We have
a message from
another
the government
one
of Canada.
from Pasty George.
Pasty George donated $200.
A bit out of order. We'll get to the rest.
Andrew, I'm agreeing with you that indigenous people were colonizing the land in North America from the Bering Strait, but you missed the point that it was initially empty with no other people.
Yeah, but don't you understand the distinction there? Like, you're saying the same thing that I am. Even if they went to lands that didn't have people, the people who came after them, who then settled in those lands. Remember, most of those original groups, right, they were replaced by other groups. Most of them were replaced by other groups. And so it's like, if that's the case, then it's just what was left was probably mostly the remnants of early colonization between the land bridge tribes that took over other land bridge tribes. So it's like, it's all colonization. That's the thing that gets me, is it's like, but they don't want you to use that argument because it's always used as anti-white rhetoric. It's always used as anti-white rhetoric.
Thank you, Pasty. We have Bentonville Sandy. Thank you for the
Bentonville Sandy
message.
Donated $200. Don't let EnemyCharlie manipulate you like she did to Gunsquad since 2023.
So this is a man with schizophrenia. I don't know. I know who that is. He has schizophrenia.
He doesn't have schizophrenia. Yes, he does.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We have a message from Rachel coming up here, Andrew's wife.
Rachel Wilson donated $100. You have a degree, but don't know what per capita means? You stream about politics, but don't know basic crime statistics? You debate, but don't make a single argument? Get back in the kitchen.
I have a master's in literature.
But you have a BA too.
I have a BA in English literature.
Yeah, but requisites for those class were history, right? You had...
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is...
Sorry.
I'm sorry I'm not intimately familiar with interracial crime statistics.
But I mean, do you see her point though when she's saying like, if you make political commentary in the United States right now, we live in a very racially charged environment, and there's no way around that.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is that having honest conversations about interracial and racial issues has been very difficult for 15 years because progressives just defucking platform anybody who talked about it for years. They just deplatformed them. And so now there is a way in which people can conduct and have these conversations, and you find out that many of the political commentators who are leftists don't even fucking know that this is the case. And so we think to ourselves, like, how many fucking people have been hornswoggled by these people? They don't even know how the intersectionality of people groups has created these massive problems, and they don't even acknowledge it, look at it, nothing. And from my view, it's like, that's fucking terrible, and it's horrible that socially we have these societal issues and we can't do anything about them because we can't even fucking talk about them.
I would say I think that you can understand that poverty increases crime rates.
I agree with that.
Absolutely. But I do believe, again, that it is more likely for a black person to be convicted of a crime versus a white person for the same crime. So I'm going to have to stick with that.
Okay.
All right, we have another Q&A coming through.
Flavia Sassinis has donated $100. Can Charlie answer the question directly, or does her collage education not allow for that?
Would you like to respond to that?
I don't. I didn't study collage in college, nor did I go to art school.
Okay, that was a good retort. I must
You got
admit.
him there.
Yeah,
you
got
did get him there.
You kind of did get him there.
I got to give you credit. We have Peacecraft, question for Charlie, coming in here in just a moment. Flavius, thank you.
Peacecraft donated $100. Charlie, would you find it ethical to conquer the Simbari and Itara people of Papua New Guinea due to their cultural practices? Also, Andy, the Mongols had a capital, Khartoum.
Okay, that's fair.
Wait, is that the CUM warriors?
Yeah.
Apparently, they did stop doing that after they got in touch with people from the outside world.
No, Christians.
I don't know if was it Christians
Yeah, it was
or
Christians.
was it people from the outside
It was Christian.
world?
I've argued this with Peacecraft before. It was Christian missionaries. And by the way, I brought the Mongols up. I was just trying to give quick examples of, like, if it is the case that you in any way, shape, or form settle in this area according to definition 2, or do you become a colonizer? It appears that you do. But even under that definition, they would have been colonizers, right? Peacecraft. So, but anyway, yeah, that's his point. Is like, if you pull the question back up, Brian, I think what he's getting at there is, like, what would you do with them? What would you do with them if you couldn't change their practices? No, the Papua New Guinea tribes.
From the weird, well, I guess we'll never know the answer to that question because they change their practices. So
they haven't changed them completely. It's only, I think it's only one tribe that converted over because of Christians, and the other ones still keep that practice in place.
Gross. Well,
it's pretty gross.
I would encourage that tribe to spread the practices because I think that there could be resistance to, outsiders attempting to change them versus people from their own in-group, which is, I think, how you can kind of
but if you just sailed across the cum warriors of Papua New Guinea as they were engaged in that practice and just like dropped the bomb and they were just gone, how does that make the world a worse place?
Dropping a bomb on a bunch of people that were raised into harmful traditions that they perpetuate the cycle. I mean, each man that is,
so how I believe you.
Like, again, I think that you can
I totally believe you. Listen,
these are boys raised into men.
I totally believe you. I know you're right. It's all based around cultural brainwashing and tradition that they're going to continue the practice of sticking their penis in those places with those adolescents.
Yes, it's bad.
So if we went right and we just dropped the bomb right there and they were gone, how's that make the world a worse place, Charlie?
I think that killing a bunch of people is wrong.
Yep, that's not my question.
Would it make the world a worse place? I mean, yeah, probably.
How?
I think that when you murder a bunch of people, the world is a worse place. I think that bad acts make the world a worse place.
Yeah, but I mean,
think
that's
that-
just
I
question
think that
begging.
you would-
You're just saying it's bad. It would make
You
it
would
worse
open
because
up
it would
the
make it
door for
worse.
people to bomb, to make it okay to bomb other countries on the basis of their practices. I mean,
Don't we do that all the
wouldn't you-
time? Don't we
Yes.
do that all the time?
but wouldn't you agree that there are many countries out there or in cultures that view American culture as like an abomination and would want to do something about us, right?
Yeah.
Like, would they not be just as?
And I really would like to stop importing people from those countries.
Okay, well, we don't really import too many of them.
Yeah, we do.
The Middle East?
Yeah, we import a lot of them. And we import people who have savage cultural practices from Africa as well, and savage cultural practices from South America. We import tons of those too. Come from death cult cities and all
Like
sorts
what,
of things.
Quinceañeras?
No, it's not quinceañeras. That's. Do you know how corrupt these governments in South America are due to the fact that they?
I'm well aware, but people can be from
Yeah.
corrupt, nations with corrupt governments.
Yeah,
and
how many of
good
the cum
people.
warriors do you want in your country?
I think that you could, very much.
All right, let me see who's in the chat. All right. Enough in there. Let me see. How long is this? Getting drowsy. I'll let run a few more minutes. Let's go.
Help people like that.
Oh, you're gonna help them.
This is also a very unique circumstance in which it is ingrained in their culture to diddle kids.
I don't know. It seems to me
Not
like
good.
the people group who are
Really
here,
bad.
that you're making them unnecessarily suffer by importing people groups they don't want here.
Well, we're not importing them.
You are importing them.
From Papua New Guinea?
No. Other people groups that are
All right,
problematic.
well, no one
yeah.
has practices as awful as that.
Yeah, no.
And if they do, they're not allowed
they
to do it.
Yeah, they do. And how would you even know? They come up illegally. You won't even enforce the damn border. You people won't even enforce the border. They come up illegally. You don't even know who the fuck's coming through the border. You have no clue.
You people don't enforce the border?
Yeah, the progressives. They did everything possible not to enforce
I'm not
the
in
border.
charge of the border.
You voted for the people who were. Did you vote for Biden? Yeah. You've said open border
I mean,
policies
he
across the
deported a
border.
lot of people.
Because he let a bunch in.
Still deported them.
Holy shit.
Did you, I don't know if we got the full answer though from Peacecraft. Would you find it ethical to conquer that tribe from PNG due to their cultural practices? So not dropping bombs necessarily, but would it be ethical to conquer them to
No.
prevent the practice?
What?
No, to conquer?
Yeah.
No, I think that you can. I don't think that that is how you actually enact change. I think that you would have to have.
What? Oh, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. That's wild to me. Go ahead.
Okay.
I need one of those seltzers.
Successful missionaries
Energy
generally
drink or
don't
seltzer?
go in.
Booze.
Okay.
Successful missionaries, do you think that successful missionaries generally go in and massacre a culture and say, we're in charge of you now? Or do they carefully change things from the inside? Because again, this is incredibly delicate.
Sometimes.
These people have no conception that this could be wrong.
And
so I think you have to be careful.
And
so
sometimes
that you don't end up
missionaries get
hurting
their
a bunch of
brains
people.
bashed in and they get their heads put on
Well,
spikes.
that's the kind of thing you have to worry about, I
Yeah,
guess.
I know,
if you want to
but
go out and do good
if we just
things,
send in
you have
the
to-
United States Marines, we'll just send in the Marines, and the Marines come in, and they're like, we're gonna take this whole area over, okay? And all you chomos over here, if you do any chomo stuff, we're gonna take you out. And the kids now, we're gonna give them a proper education and baths and food and stuff.
I think that the people would resent the rule and be less likely to change their practices. I think that there would be violent rebellion.
How would they be less? How are they going to violently? How are the primitive Stone Age warriors of Papua New Guinea going to violently rebel against the United States Marine Corps?
Maybe not at that point, but one day.
You think that they're going to be really resentful that they weren't allowed to molest kids anymore? What?
They're not going to look at it from the traditional viewpoint, but what they're going to see is foreigners invading their nation and killing them. That's what they're going to see. Again, it's just not, if you want to, affect real change, I think that you would have to make an effort, again, to influence and educate.
So what I just want to make sure that you
violence.
understand the entailment of your position is that right now, if it is the case that in Papua New Guinea, kids are getting essayed, young boys are getting essayed by adults who are making them eat their ejaculate
I know.
every day for weeks on end, that would be a preferable condition to you than to send in a fully armed force which can separate those kids from those people. How could that possibly be better? How could not colonizing that possibly be better?
You don't end up killing a bunch of people.
They just cross-generationally essay little boys.
Yes, I know it's a cycle of abuse. It's horrible, but they can recover. I mean, like, I don't know. I assume you're opposed to women doing OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Okay, what if we got every woman doing OnlyFans on an island and bombed it? Would the world be a better place?
Did I say bomb it? Right now,
earlier
yeah,
say
but right
bomb
now
it,
we're not talking about that. Right now we're talking about...
Go in and kill them if they
We're not
try
saying
to do
go
the
in and kill them.
OnlyFans?
We're saying go in and colonize them. That wouldn't necessarily require a killing of any kind. It would require us to completely destroy their cultural practices and integrate them into our social hierarchy.
If a foreign nation came to our country and said, do as we say or we'll kill you, do you think the American people would lie down and take it?
No,
or
of course
do you think
not.
we would rebel? That's what happens.
But if you have an overwhelming force, right, who comes in and you have primitive technology and you're doing what the Papua New Guinea cum warriors are doing, how could it possibly be justified not to do that if you have that overwhelming force? If you could just go in there, save all those kids, right, recolonize so that it never happens again, how is that not preferable?
I think it is literally, again, more effective rather than through force, like build a resentment, fear, and rage in these people versus like help them.
So if these people, let's say hypothetically, they never want to take visitors again, they wall themselves off and they refuse, right? But you can still see in there, you have like your little recon plane and shit, you can see that they're still doing these practices.
Isn't there an island that's like that where no one's allowed to go? They killed a missionary.
Yeah, I know.
They threw a spear.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, but they're not doing the same things that these people are doing.
As far as we know.
Well, no,
And they also, let me see what's going on in the chat room. Man, really weak right now. All right. But they don't. Yeah. I'll leave that alone. All right. All right, let's continue.
I think we can see but I'm not sure. Yeah. But anyway, but we could see in there, right? And note that they're still doing. Would you let them do that in perpetuity rather than colonize them?
I mean, okay, granted, sending people to aid and educate and getting people who are a part of the tribe on your side.
They don't want anything to do with those people.
My goodness, I don't know what I would do if I was in charge of that because I don't think that there's a situation where that happens.
You just didn't. Wait a second. I just want to make sure I got this right. This situation is happening right now in Papua New Guinea. I believe that there's still one tribe of the cum warriors there, and they're not taking visitors. So do we just perpetually let them do this to kids?
I think that if you have encouraged the surrounding tribes to view that as disgusting and vile, I think that they'll take care of it themselves.
By colonizing them?
Most likely, yeah, sure. But I don't think that we need to go in, foreign outsiders,
so colonize
completely
them.
Different from them.
So as long as the neighboring tribes colonize them, that's okay. We colonize them, not okay.
I mean, do you see the difference in how the resentment would build and what the long-term consequences
I mean, maybe, but
would be?
you're just making the case that colonization here is actually okay, either way.
In this extreme, absurd, ridiculous situation.
Well, it's not extreme, absurd, hypothetical. Like, it is going on, right? Like, it is happening. So it's not like I'm talking about something that's not going on.
Sure, yeah. But again, I think that you can just let people figure it out themselves.
Should we colonize North Korea?
No.
No?
No.
Should South Korea colonize North Korea?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't want to help them if they try.
Well, I mean,
it'll be our money.
I just want to let you
into it.
Yeah. I just want to let you know, though, that the entailment of this is that there are hundreds of thousands of women daily who are essayed in North Korea in order to keep their birth rates artificially up. They draft them right in the military, and they give sex squads to the dear leader. Should the South Koreans colonize them? Western democracy. That's a Western, it's a Western style democracy.
I think that I'll leave that to the South Koreans.
If you,
But South Korea also has its grave issues with women. So, I mean, I don't know, dude.
Not the same way that the North does. It's not even the same universe.
I mean, the sex pest stuff is crazy.
Do you realize and recognize the difference between you have sex pests in a country, right, who are problematic and gropey and gross and even a little bit rapey, and then on the other side of that, you have girls as young as 15, or actually younger, 12, pulled right off the street, drafted in the military so that they can be part of pleasure squads.
Are you sure that that's a real thing that's happening? Because that does sound like I'm not saying North Korea is good. North Korea is an awful dictatorship. It's an awful dictatorship.
Can you pull up North Korean pleasure squads?
But would you not agree that?
You want me to read?
Yeah, just read what it says about the North Korean pleasure squads.
Hold on.
And the pleasure girls. It's absolutely horrific what they.
Let me stop right here about this pleasure squad and what other countries do in regards to their citizens. That is really none of our goddamn business what someone does in his backyard. When America goes and do their little bidding, it's always another form of making money, i.e. exploiting. So not like we're there as good Samaritans trying to restore order. We gain something out of this. And I think Charlie knows this. And Andrew thinks that Charlie is dumb, but she's not. She's definitely not. So I'm not sure who the hell he's fooling. So let's go. Let's go.
They do to him.
I have something from Wikipedia, which is a bit biased, but it's an unconfirmed collection of groups of approximately 2,000 women and girls reportedly maintained by the leader of North Korea for the purpose of providing entertainment, including that of a sexual nature, for high-ranking Workers' Party of Korea officials and their families, as well as occasionally distinguished guests.
And we have thousands of North Korean defectors, maybe not as high as thousands, but at least hundreds of North Korean defectors, including high-ranking military officials who've defected, who have explained in great detail what's going on with the situation. That, it's funny. I gave a hypothetical one time about an SA cage, right? These people have actual SA cages. And you think that they wouldn't benefit from the colonization? You don't think so? You don't think that would be a benefit to that culture?
Generally, I think people can sort themselves out.
Okay.
I am concerned with changes in my nation, changes that I can affect.
Yeah, look, we can find an olive branch.
I don't know if I want to fund South Korea's war against North Korea.
I totally agree.
I'm really uninterested in it. I also don't want to fund the invasion of Papua New Guinea.
Look, I totally agree with you that it is the case that I don't think we should get involved in foreign affairs. My point wasn't to say that we should. My point rather was to point out that saying that colonization itself is somehow bad in and of itself is absurd and silly and makes no sense. And it's very clear that colonization has been extraordinarily helpful to many places of the world as far as their social order goes. And that's I don't even know why that would be questioned at this point.
What places do you think have
the Ivory Coast? The Ivory Coast definitely has done way better under colonization in comparison to the rest of the region.
Okay. But the rest of the region was, Africa was colonized, and now they're doing pretty bad.
Which parts?
Well, the greatest.
Huh? What do you mean which parts? Africa is being right now, Africa is deliberately being institutionalized, colonized by other nations to help build infrastructure. America, can't speak the same way or say what's going on there because America's not really making no real serious deals with Africa besides what's Russia and I think China doing deals with Africa, some parts of Africa, Nigeria especially, or Ghana. The point is that he's saying that which part? All of it. What do you mean which part? You done? What's going on, man?
Example I can think of is the Congo and what happened there with was it the King of the Netherlands or Belgium, Leopold.
What happened there in the Congo?
Like the enslavements and the murders and shit.
Yeah. Okay. Wait a second. Yeah.
And now the Congo is like Do you think that those people were doing better?
I'm not familiar with the particular situation you're talking about in the Congo. Like, African history is not all that interesting to me, but I do know that the Ivory Coast, which was heavily colonized.
So why talk about Andrew? If you're going to talk about a continent, which is 54 countries within this continent, you should have a well understanding of the history of the continent Africa, how it came out to be, who runs it, why it was divided up within the European nations back in the late 1800s and re-institutionalized with the names of Nigeria, Congo, Togo, all that stuff that was really named by their new oppressors. I mean, you should at least did some background on that or get familiar with it. But if you're picking a certain section of Africa and saying could we bring it in civilization? No, you did not bring nothing but problems and exploitation. You did not really bring anything of what considered is civilization. Civilization has been here from existence, and every tribe, every nation within a nation has their own version of civilization, which is something that's not talked about. Well, let's listen more.
Has done extremely well due to colonization. That's for sure.
Well,
and I also can point out that I can actually give you a ton. I think that the Americas were made better through colonization. Native Americans have a higher quality of life now than they did pre-colonization. That's for sure.
I think everyone around the world does. In most.
Native Americans, really? Native Americans right now are drunks. They're on drugs. They're depressed. Don't be fooled because they're on a little reservation, which, they eventually gonna be breed out eventually anyway. But that's not a story. But if you're talking about Native Americans doing better now, no, they're not. That's a lie. That's a different lie. That's the ego Andrew has. But anyhow,
Most places. If you have access to modern technology, you typically have a better.
Yeah, but all that modern technology, a lot of that modern technology came from North America. And because we colonized and had access to massive amounts of resources, we were able to reshape the entire world and the technology in it. So it seems like the world has benefited from colonization.
Do you think that it could only have happened through colonization?
No, of course not. There's other ways that it could have potentially happened, but not likely.
We have to move on to the next question.
Joem0861 donated $200.
Thank you, Joe.
Brian, please ask both to answer and then look up the answers on Google. How many people died in the Spanish Inquisition and how long did it last?
I want to say when I looked this up last time, it was like 1,400 to 1,700 people total. It wasn't a huge amount.
Oh, I was going to say 500.
I think it was 1,400 to 1,700 from the entirety of it, but I don't remember.
And I think it lasted like a decade, I want to say. It wasn't long. It wasn't a long time period.
According to Google AI, the Spanish Inquisition lasted for over 350 years, 1478 to 1834, with its final abolition. And there seems to be records indicate around 826 executions in person, 778 in effigy. But another estimate says executions between 1,480 and 1,530.
Yeah. Okay. So
Oh, my
between
bad.
1,400 and 1,700, I was pretty close.
All right. We have Pasty George here coming in.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Pasty George donated $200.04.
Yeah, right.
Andrew, I think I understand what you are trying to say. In the end, it was humans colonizing other humans. In Canada, many indigenous tribes fought one another for territories and hunting grounds.
Yeah, I'm just saying exactly. So I'm just saying that this idea, I think that the idea is being utilized specifically by leftist progressives, especially ones who are college educated. They use the term colonizer specifically as a disparagement on modern white men. That's what I think. And I've seen it now so many times, and so is the Crucible audience. It almost seems impossible for me to see it any other way. And so my point is just to point out, like, everybody colonized fucking everybody, including the Native Americans, by the very definition of what colonization is, as I demonstrated multiple times. Even if we go back to the beginning where there's a land bridge, they definitely colonized each other constantly. So it's like you colonized the colonizer, you stole from the thief, you murdered the murderers. It's like, at what point do we have a moral equivalency here?
If it makes you feel any better, I took a course in my undergrad taught by an indigenous professor who made us read books specifically on the Creek tribe, which included their long history of slavery. So,
All right, we have a chat here from Pat.
Pat
Excuse me.
donated $99.
Thank you, Pat.
Great debate. Charlie, words can have multiple definitions and migrate over time. You are brainwashed into selectively only accepting one definition to push an ideological message that benefits some.
See, that's what I think. I think Pat's right. Like, that's what I think we've been able to infer from this. That's what I inferred from it. It's like, nope, that ideological message, it's really that only that one definition that matters because that's the definition that reinforces the worldview.
Would you like to respond to Andrew or the question?
I don't
Or
think
statement?
Pat or Andrew is going to believe me when I say I just feel strongly that a colony requires in its common usage, is going to require a foreign government to have jurisdiction over it. That is just, again, in common usage. That is how the word is used.
But it's just such an appeal to emotion, especially when you say like you feel that is the case when we had a definition for it.
Any other way.
Okay, well, let me just ask you this. Would you reject definition 2 that we gave you for colony? Would you reject it? Like you can just not accept the definition as being true.
I wouldn't reject it completely, but I would say that I think that it is, there are certainly much better words to describe that phenomenon, which is like settler. Like, again, because colony just has a very strong implication of foreign government in charge of that. Like again, I just feel like they are fundamentally different, especially when we're talking about the 13 colonies. Because that's like the whole point of the War of Independence, is that we would have our own freedom and no longer be colonies, but be.
But I mean, there was colonies that had nothing to do with the 13 colonies, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so like, you continuously bring it back to that because it seems to reinforce your worldview that you need this definition to be true so that your prism of history is true.
Well, I'm an American informed by American history, I guess is all I can say.
Yeah, well, I mean, that American history was British history too, right?
Sure.
Yeah,
yes, because they were
there was British
colonies.
history.
British
so.
and French and Spanish,
But anyway,
etc.
the point is like, yeah, it just seems like there's a bias operation there. That's all I'm saying.
I won't deny that, yes, many people on the left use colonizer in a negative way.
Including
They do.
you.
I have used it before in a negative way when I'm referring to negative things, and I will say that, yes, it has been used in ways that I think are disingenuous.
Bees donated $100. How else could the vast natural and human potential of the Americas have been organized into globally influential, technologically advanced societies without the disruptive, but ultimately transformat?
I couldn't have. Like, I see that it could be logically possible that it could have.
I mean,
but
I think that
it's not likely.
I mean, it's not like Europe itself, all technological innovations sprung just from Europe. Like, we very much borrowed from, like, the Middle East and China when it came to, like, gunpowder and stuff. Like,
No.
I think without the...
No. First of all, like, if you talk about the origin of a chemical, in a chemical compound, or in this case, a powder compound of gunpowder, probably, I don't know. I don't even want to hazard a guess. I would guess that 99% of all technology based around gunpowder has been European.
Nope, false. They got that from China. They got that from Asia, the gunpowder. I'm not sure what the hell he's talking about. This is why you always gotta do fact check when people open their goddamn mouth and not really look and see if what they're saying is factual. And let me see if this is gonna pull. All right. Troy said that that there will be no colonization without any foreign governments backing them. And come to find out, that is fact. Colonization doesn't require official state acting directly, but it can also be carried out by Virginia Company, founded by Jamestown, 1607. That was not the English government directly, but it was a private joint stock company motivated by profit. This colonized through the land claim, settlements, etc., etc. This is called charter colony, etc. Religious groups, pilgrims, Portrayals, founded by Plymouth, Massachusetts Bay. This group is operate largely anonymous, established their own government laws and militants. Okay. Unofficial settlers expand territories on their own through 1700 to 1800. Land inspectors, frontier settlers, fur traders, home settlers. From 1800 onward, U.S. expand westward through manifest destiny. A whole lot of information here. And these are corporations. And if you think about it, at the time, these European settlers came because they were criminals and they had to pay their dues from Europe. And there are books on this. I cannot pinpoint certain books that goes in detail, but the history is unfortunately here. So I'm not sure what the hell Andrew's babbling about. And now he's talking about gunpowder. Let's look that up right now. And let me play this on. I'm just going to debunk it and then call us tonight because I think we heard enough of this or heard enough of tonight's stream. Let's continue.
Sure, yeah.
Probably 99% or I mean maybe like 99.9, but I mean the innovations around gunpowder from Europeans, fucking it's insane. It's incredible.
I mean, I'd want to read up on that, but I also think it's like, unfortunately, we did bring disease to the Americas, which I think would have really heavily impacted our ability to trade properly. But
because of animal husbandry.
yes.
Yeah.
I think that it is possible. Well, and also we had Europeans had immunities built up that Native Americans didn't
Because of animal husbandry.
Yeah, because of animal husbandry.
Yeah.
We could have traded. We could have, passed the technology on.
We did trade with many
We
tribes
did.
for many years,
We
and
did.
they became very
Yes.
upset with us over various different things, including, well, I mean that's a long, complex history. But
Yes,
the
it
point
is.
is
Yeah.
that it is not the case that it is the case that we colonize colonizers. That is the case, and that's why I guess that's what frustrates me is I know. Again, I guess we're circling, but I know that it's anti-white rhetoric. I've seen it now so many times that I just know it is. I think I can easily demonstrate it is by putting the person who calls me the colonizer to the question, and we see very quickly that it's designed. It's like, who have I colonized? Nobody. But you're the beneficiary of colonizers. Therefore, you're calling. Who are you to tell me that we can't immigrate to this country, colonizer? That's how it's used. Isn't it? It's used as, who are you to tell me who can immigrate into your nation? You're a colonizer. You just decided you're the conqueror, so if you get conquered, you fucking deserve it. Isn't that how it's being used?
The Hispanic guy was using it in that.
How does anybody use it on the left except that way? Who are you, colonizer, to tell people that they can't immigrate to this nation? Like, that's what it's mostly used for. When you're calling someone a colonizer, that they have no justification to say who can come in and out of their nation because they're colonizers.
I think it's just trying to remind people that they were once immigrants too. Because I do think that, again, it's not like all white people showed up at once and we all decided, yes, we're the same. We're culturally the exact same.
All right, the verdict is in, and which I was right, because I remember the talks and history of gunpowder, where they got the chemicals, where it came from. It came from Asia. And lo and behold, the answer to this question, did it really came from Europe? Like Andrew said, no, you dummy. You big dummy. It came straight from Asia. I'm not sure what the hell this dude's talking about. Gunpowder originated in Asia, specifically in China. Remember, Europeans did a lot of trade with China because of sweets, tea, for lack of better words. So they came up with it, but really, if we want to go in detail, it was actually the Moors that helped develop the first fire shots, or what they call it, first guns, to be personally honest. And I got that from a book from Suzar that deals with information in detail of that. But nonetheless, gunpowder came from invented in China around the 9th century during the Tang Dynasty. Chinese alchemists accidentally create it while searching for a elixir of immortality. China first used gunpowder for fireworks, bombs, flamethrowers, and early guns, hand cannons. But how it reached Europe, gunpowder spread westward through the Silk Road, the Mongolian Empire, Middle Eastern scholars. Europeans adopt gunpowder by the 13th century and quickly advanced firearm and cannons technology. So, yet again, it did not come from Europe. This man is not intelligent. He does not read history. He's speaking off his ass, off his goddamn mouth. And let me check what books go in detail. What books go in detail? Hold on. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to let this play for a little bit longer and wrap this up.
Was a long, difficult process of, assimilation.
Look, I agree that there have been many waves of migration to various nations, okay? But I also think that the peoples of these nations eventually are going to be able to determine what they want their demographics to look like, which Japan has done, for instance. They decided they were pumping in immigrants in order to offset the fact that their birth rate was massively declining. And most recently, their president came out and said, we're not going to do that anymore. And if the birth rate declines, so be it. I don't care. And they get to, like, the people themselves get to control the demographics.
They can do that, and then their elderly will rot and die alone in their homes when the population has more old people than they do young people.
Or they'll create a renaissance for incentives to create young people.
Well, they'd have to change their work culture to do that, and that's not likely.
Well, it's likely if you start running out of people.
Yeah, I guess.
Hassan Piker is not Zeus donated $100. Charlie, heard a rumor you and Hassan had a little tryst. Is it true? If not, would you date the shitlib? What do you think about the whole dog shock thing?
I've never spoken to Hassan in my life, and I'm not a fan of his. I've never spoken to Hassan in my life, and I'm not a fan of his.
Would you date him?
No.
Dog shock thing? What do you think about the whole...
The dog collar shock thing?
That thing, yeah.
I don't want to say anything because I do not want this to be clipped by weird people and spread around. That is a discourse I am just wholly uninterested in. Destiny, Hassan, and Ethan Klein could do the most evil things in the world, and I wouldn't comment on it because I have no interest in being brought into that insanity.
Wait, you'll talk about the cum warriors of Papua New Guinea?
Yes.
You want to talk about?
Well, the cum warriors don't have an online mob. They don't have an online mob of people to attack me. Those three do. I'm not going to comment. I don't want to be involved.
Okay.
I don't know. The crucible's tangled with all of them. We do pretty well.
Chor XD donated $100.
Well, their audience, I mean.
If we were to follow a progressive evolutionary or anthropological history of humans, wouldn't that mean everyone is just a colonizer? Which implies that you just use it as a slur.
That's a great point.
Okay, yes, human beings have moved around historically all through history. Human beings have moved around, moved into new places. Human beings have been violent and awful and evil to each other. We have committed atrocities unknown. But I do believe that the colonization of the Americas was the most extensive and advanced colonization due to the technology that we had available at the time. I don't think anyone would disagree with that it was very effective in a way because of technology that I think most of the world had not yet seen before. Would that agree, disagree?
Okay. We have Elusive Enigma. I'm not sure.
Elusive Enigma donated $100. With all of the talk about colonizing, what are your guys' thoughts about voluntary segregation like the RTTL project? Would it be okay if whites get together and focus solely on themselves and people?
I mean, what are white concerns? And who are we counting as white people?
So I think that the project that he's talking about, if I remember correctly, they're focusing on people who have specifically Western European blood, and it excludes people who they don't consider to be white. This includes Jewish people, and it includes some Eastern Slavic
Better
people.
include Italians.
I'm not sure if they included Italians as being white or non-white, but whatever. However, they chopped up the criteria. The point of the question is asking if you believe that people have self-determination, autonomy, and can make exclusive groups and live only among those exclusive groups, excluding other people or not.
I think you can do that if you want, but I probably wouldn't want to hang around those people. You can, if you want to have a little commune, do it. I've seen it done.
Well, it wouldn't be a commune.
Or like a little area where it's only you guys. Like, I guess you could do
What if it was a large area? Like, I don't know, half of a state.
I think it would be difficult to get that many people together that
But if they
wanted to do
could,
that. And
do you have any objection
if
to
they
it?
could, I can't articulate any opposition to it right now, but I don't like it. I don't even think people of like black people, Hispanic people, Asian people, I don't even think that they should do that. I think that that's weird.
So like forced integration should be the order of the day?
I mean, I guess if people are just really, really, really interested in only living around their race, sure, they could all get together with a bunch of people and say, hey, we're all going to buy houses here and buy land here, and hopefully they could do it.
But they don't want to just do that. They want to do that and then exclude other people from coming in.
I think you'd have to be very careful about how you did it because there are housing laws, I think, housing discrimination laws. But places do that all the time. There's plenty of neighborhoods that will intentionally.
So you
not
don't have any
sell
actual
to-
objections to it?
I would find those people to be morally reprehensible.
Based on what? What are they doing that's morally wrong?
I think that isolating yourself is.
Morally reprehensible?
Yeah, I think it's backwards.
It's
and
morally
stupid.
reprehensible to isolate yourself?
I had for a time.
All right, enough of that. Enough of that. And I see, bro, you wrote, when has whites ever worry about themselves? That's a very good question. To wrap this up, the last information I'm going to reveal now, and let me see. Matter of fact, I'll screenshot this because this is something I had to email myself. I was looking into this over the weekend because I was going through this content and I was just checking the fact check, especially the colonization aspect. And lo and behold, one thing I learned about a lot of these content creators like Andrew or anybody else that's doing content and having the discussion, these people are not actually really reading the research. They're not looking into a lot of this stuff. They're just running their mouths. They're babbling. They're going by their feelings. They're not even looking into the information and fact checking. And I think the reason why it is because I'm not sure is the audience is not aware or they just don't downright care. But you don't take no man's word as gospel or truth. So hear me well. Anybody's talking about something that never existed or that's not true, so you better do your own research and make sure that's factual. All right. Let's see. All right. And I gotta share a lot of this stuff in my Discord because so much information I did today. Boy, my Discord is gonna be really flooded. All right, here you go, guys. The last thing I'm gonna share because I'm not gonna go. I'm wrapping this up actually. Where is it? I'm feeling it right now. You're not gonna be able to see this. This is too small. And I wish I could make this bigger. Matter of fact, I could make this bigger. Hold on. Let me do this. Let me do this. I'm gonna pull it up on my end. Where is it? All right, can I zoom in? Yeah, I could zoom in. All right, I'm gonna screen share this. As you know, Andrew don't believe that. Hold on, sorry guys, let me do it again. Andrew believes that Europeans did not colonize or don't believe in colonization, to his knowledge. Oh, god damn it, it's gone. Hold on. All right. Huh. Damn it, I messed up. Sorry guys. Let me do this again. All right, it's back. Let me zoom in. As you guys could see. Oh, y'all guys can't see that. Let me zoom in. I apologize. I can't see that. And I'll read to y'all. Yes, the Europeans who came to America are established settlement and control a general considered colonizers. The process of European expansion in America is known as European colonization of America, which began in the late 15th century, which is roughly, I think it's 1600. Yeah. Yeah, 1600. Yep. Or actually 1400, actually. Yeah, late 1400s. Europeans, groups, and colonization. Multiple European nations and groups play a role in colonization in the Americas. Spain was one of the first and most extensive colonizers. They began majority efforts after Christopher Columbus of 1492 voyage and were the first to establish a permanent settlement in the continent of the United States, such as St. Augustine, Florida, in 1565. That is a span of 400 or 560 years ago, I think. Yeah, 566 years ago. They also established Santa Fe, New Mexico in 1610. Spanish interests were dominant in the Caribbean, Central, South America, and large parts of what is now southwestern and southeastern U.S. England, Great Britain became the dominant colonial powers in North America by the mid-18th century. Primarily established the 13 colonies. Their first successful permanent settlement was Jamestown, Virginia in 1607. Other key groups include the Puritans, Pilgrims in New England, Plymouth Colony, 1620, who sought religious freedom but still engaged in colonization. France established settlements like Quebec in 1608 and focused on area around the St. Lawrence River and later the Mississippi River Valley, Louisiana. The Netherlands, Dutch, began colonization around 1609 and established New Amsterdam, later New York City. As and any part of the Hudson Valley. Paraguay primarily focused on colonization Brazil and South America. Sweden established the short-lived colony of New Sweden, part of Delaware and New Jersey in the 17th century. These groups represent various European nations and within these nations different social religions and economic tribes, such as English Puritans, Spanish Catholics, Dutch merchants, all took part in colonization. All right. The first colonizers, the term colonizer is specific reference to those who claim and control a territory distant from their original home, often lead to the subjugation or displacement of the original inhabitants. See that? Norsemen, Vikings, are the first known Europeans to set foot in North America, establish a settlement at Les Anneaux Ox Meadows in Newfoundland, Canada, around the year 1000. However, this was not substantial colonization efforts to develop into a continuous colonial empire. The Spanish were the first European groups in the post-Columbian or Columbian era after 1492 to establish major sustainable colonies, empires in America, including permanent settlements within the present-day United States territory and the Native America's indigenous peoples who were already present of the continent for thousands of years are not considered colonizers, as they were original inhabitants who had established their own diverse societies and nations. They were the what they call one of who land, resource, and sovereignty were taken through the process of European colonization. There you have it. There you have it. So, in conclusion to this, and it was a long stream, I apologize, but you know how things are. Andrew doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. And EnemyCharlie hold her own to not believe in his bullshit. I didn't believe it when I first heard it, and I did some digging to really verify all what he has said during this debate, and he came out snake eyes. He was all lying and wrong, which is typical for most European men. They like to make themselves look more good, but in the background, they're not really that good. But who's keeping count? But anyhow, thank y'all for listening to today's stream. This is a long one. If you guys made it this far, that's what's up. Thank you. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe to the Chaos Rain Show. And if you want to find links to what I've read during the stream, it'll be in Discord. So you got to follow the Discord service of this channel. I put it in the description. So that's it, guys. Like, share, comment, subscribe, chat, and like always, until next time, and I mean next time, let the chaos reign.
Man, fuck all you hoes. Fuck you and your mammy and your granny too. And fuck all you hoes. I'm sick of this shit. Fuck all you hoes. And fuck all you. Don't give a damn, bitch, what you wanna do. And fuck all you hoes.
They like the chaos.
They like the chaos. So when you're able to
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
The chaos.
let that chaos reign with,
Must reign.